The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
It's wacky times, Don. That's the thing. It's wacky times.
Oh, my God. Every day it's something new. Something you can't prepare for. Something that you're like, I wonder what's going to happen today. I wonder what the topic of conversation is going to be today. And then you think you got to handle it. And then somebody sings an anthem. Somebody says something. Somebody does something. Somebody asks something. And you're like,
you know what? Welcome to the show, everyone.
Hi.
Wolfpack edition. Peter
right.
and Don on the K Show.
Why not?
We'll get to that national anthem here in a second. But you know what? You know what I realized?
What is that?
I did a hell of a program today, by the way, with my friend Dave Rothenberg. Oh, yeah. You got any of the drops over there from it today?
There's drops?
Oh, yeah. Drops happen. Things happened on that show.
I heard that Anthony did E&N.
Oh, yeah.
My bar mitzvah gift for son 1.
For Ben, whose name you clearly forgotten that in this moment.
That is true.
I'm visibly excited.
All right, now. Yeah, you are. How you doing?
What?
And
So he was acknowledging.
yeah, and he's into it.
You trying to get me going?
I watched a movie about these Von Erich
You watched
brothers.
the movie?
I like the movie.
This was big for me.
That's my jam.
That happened today, as well as
I love the Von Erich brothers.
which really it just pleases me. It tickles me.
That's my jam.
But you know what it made me realize? This whole conversation today, whenever myself in particular, but Don also, go off the rails and get too much into the silliness. There's always like this, gotta bring it back to serious sports. And then the moment something silly happens with the national anthem, Don, you would have thought the Malice at the Palace happened last night, the amount of conversation about this national anthem.
Well, when everybody's talking about it, it's probably a good idea to have an opinion on it, no?
But is it
everybody
that big? Was it that big a story?
Well, first of all, I didn't realize that we had to have an anthem before a home run derby.
You and I are so sympathetic. I said on the show with Dave today, I went, we really have to have the national anthem before the Derby? I mean, it's sports event adjacent.
Yeah.
And then Dave pointed out, but you do it before every sporting event. I'm like, it's so crazy. We are a crazy country. I just tell everyone, we're crazy. What does patriotism have to do with a random home
because
run
nobody
derby?
wants to be the first one to say we're not doing it. And you know, in the current climate that we're in,
oh boy,
if for some reason they didn't do the anthem last night, people would be freaking out. What do you want, American? You're unpatriotic. But I don't know. It just seemed a little over the top. I mean, it's sports event adjacent, right? It's an event, but it's not a game. I mean, the idea is before a game, but I guess now before any sporting event, there has to be an anthem. And it was performed poorly.
I mean, but what do you think about this version?
Can you see the lead light? Okay, I'm done.
Who was that?
What do you think?
You know what?
I don't know.
That was Griffin.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, we had him give it a shot.
Now that you know who it is, you're like, you know what? It's not that bad.
No, he did all right, I think.
If anybody else, I would have graded differently. But with him, I'm willing to grade it on a curve.
Well, now it turns out that the young lady who sung the national anthem last night that everyone's been talking about, this horrifying rendition, she put out a statement earlier today apologizing for what happened, saying she was drunk and that she's checking into rehab. But then she sort of like told on herself, in my opinion, that the statement was a little bit, maybe forced. Is forced the wrong word?
Well,
convenient?
Here it is, okay?
Please read it.
This is Ingrid Andress, who I love. There's a song of hers that I like.
Okay.
So I knew of her. I didn't recognize her last night, but then after everything kind of went down, I'm like, oh, yeah, I did download one of her songs. I do like one of her songs. She's very good. So this isn't somebody that's talentless. She's a ton of talent. She's had a really bad night.
Bad night.
So we're all thinking, was she sick? Was she ill? There was speculation that maybe there was some sort of a protest, although I don't know why there would be a protest, and you wouldn't know what she's protesting. That would be a poor protest.
Well, there's a lot of protesting like that.
But in this particular case, you'd like to have some idea if there was a protest. But no, it wasn't a protest. So she came out with this statement, which I don't know how to take it, Peter. Well, I actually do know how to take it, but I'm wondering if you agree with me. This is her statement. I'm not going to BS, y'all. I was drunk last night. I'm checking myself into a facility today to get the help I need. That was not me last night. I apologize to MLB, all the fans, and this country I love so much for that rendition. Okay, and if that was it, I'd be like, okay,
perfect,
fine. You know, let's get up. Let's get off the subject. But then she continued. Unfortunately, I'll let you all know how rehab is. I hear it's super fun.
That's my jam.
So, are you going to rehab? Is this some joke? Are you just going to rehab so the world's supposed to feel sorry for you? That you lose me in that last sentence. And I think you said it off the air during our meeting. I'm sure her PR department's like, really? That's a bad job with that last sentence. So I don't know whether to take her seriously, whether she's just trying to be lighthearted in a serious moment. Again, this is text, so you don't know tone. Maybe if she issued a video and you'd be saying, oh, she was just kind of joking, she's trying to be lighthearted. It just comes across as you're not really taking this seriously. So let the jokes commence. And the other thing I'm going to throw out there too, I doubt very seriously that she was at some saloon around the corner from the stadium and got all hammered and showed up drunk. She was probably consuming alcohol at the event, which happened to Joe Namath when he had his incident at the Jet Titan game. That's what happened to Brett Hull at the parade when he's singing Gloria, completely intoxicated. It seems like these people all get juiced up at the event that they're at. Maybe it's time to kind of dial down the free drinks when you're asking somebody to perform and be in front of a microphone.
I think I got your number, Gloria.
You know, on a night where somebody's being honored, maybe don't get them hammered before they've got to go talk to the 80,000 people in front of a microphone. Like maybe some of these sports organizations and teams.
It's on the person.
I get it. Listen, I'm not an enabler.
She obviously has a problem.
I'm not. That's fine. I'm just saying that. Is it so wrong that when you know somebody's going to sing an anthem or somebody's going to go on television or somebody's going to grab a microphone, that somebody at least keeps an eye to make sure that they're okay? And if they're not okay, then pivot. Now, listen, Brett Hull was at a parade. No harm, no foul, right? No big deal. He might have embarrassed himself. Knowing Brett Hull, he was probably pretty comfortable.
I think I got your number, Gloria.
Sounded great.
And with the Jets, maybe they didn't realize he'd be on Monday Night Football's microphone.
Well, he wasn't, he wasn't working that night.
No, he wasn't. But I'm just saying is that you do realize that these public figures might end up in front of a microphone. It's kind of just for their own sake, kind of keep an eye. Listen, it's Ingrid's fault. If she's got a problem, she's got a problem. You know, she's a big girl. She's an adult. She should be able to govern her own drinking. But you know, don't feel bad for Major League Baseball when it's possible that the alcohol she consumed was on them. Okay, bars do get in trouble for letting somebody leave intoxicated when they get behind the wheel of a car. Nobody is taking the responsibility away from the person that makes the decision to get behind the wheel.
But when you have a celebrity who's enlisted for something like this,
okay,
they have a green room, and they probably have their rider. And on the rider, it was probably 2 bottles of tequila.
Okay.
And then she was with her people sitting around probably getting drunk.
Okay.
It's not really on anyone except her.
Okay. No,
that's my guess.
I agree it's on her.
I mean, baseball
but also,
shouldn't say, no, we can't
she's
give
not
it to
the
you.
only victim in this thing. I mean, Major League Baseball's embarrassed, right? It's their event. And now this thing is going viral. Nobody's opening the show. Maybe we should, but I'm saying that nobody's talking about the home run derby. Nobody's talking about how much fun they had watching the broadcast. This is what they're talking about today.
I don't want to steal point guard at 308.
All right, well, no, steal.
It's the only reason anyone talks about the home run derby. No one would have talked about the home run derby at all.
But that's
it wouldn't have even been mentioned.
But it's
been #1 story all day.
But that's not what Major League Baseball wants.
I get it, but at least people will have some awareness next year.
I would actually applaud them if they were the ones saying, let's get her drunk. Maybe she'll do something stupid and we'll actually get some attention.
So if it was intentional,
at least by design,
you'd appreciate it.
You know, I mean,
but here, let's go back to the statement though. Because when you see someone puts out the statement and blames it on an alcohol thing, it already reeks of like cleanup. Let's tell the story our way. How do we explain this? Okay, I was drunk. Okay? Because by the way, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there listening who can sing really well that go, oh, I've killed it drunk before. It doesn't mean you had to be horrible just because you were drunk. Many great artists get on stage, get inebriated, and still absolutely kill it.
Oh, a lot of them.
So
some of them can't perform otherwise.
Right, exactly. So it's not necessarily the answer. So I'm looking at it and going, all right, you gave a statement saying you have a problem. I have a great deal of respect for people deciding when it's time to go into program. Good for her. But the end of that statement, man, I hear it's a great time. Don, it's sort of like laughing in the middle of the apology.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're taking it very serious.
By the way, I just heard this recently. Her behavior was so deplorable that I've actually heard she's in line to do the Yankees White Sox series in 3 weeks. It's unbelievable. They already booked her over in the Bronx. Can you believe that?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not realize.
Not what I expected, but they said when you get out, first stop, Yankee Stadium.
So, listen, not a big deal. I'm embarrassed for her. She needs to know better. And if she does have a problem, hopefully she takes it seriously, Peter, because if you're not going to admit you have a problem, then you're wasting your time.
Well, she pseudo admitted she had a problem, but then she made it a joke. And
right. So,
listen, she's going to find out.
If she treats the rehab as a joke, she'll get nothing out of it.
Well, she'll find out quickly whether or not she's about that life. And listen, there are a lot of people who go to rehab many times and don't take it seriously till the 7th. You know what I mean? You got to get there when you're ready to get there. But I will tell you, I'm just being honest. I hate to say this. This was not bad for her career. This was huge.
No, it's music, man. There is no.
Yeah, you don't listen. It's not like she was, whatever. She's not a teacher. She's not a college professor who acted inappropriately. She's a musician who got drunk. Now, Don, I never knew who this person was. Now she has an entire story when she comes back.
I was flipping around because it seems like there's a country music awards every month.
Oh, no one has more awards.
And I think ABC had it one time a couple of years ago, or one of the events, and it spilled past 11 o'clock, and I was going to watch the news. And apparently she won Song of the Year. This is the song I know her for.
Okay.
Maybe you've heard it.
If I bring you home to mama, I guess I better warn ya. She falls in love a little faster than I.
Beautiful song, beautiful voice.
That's my jam.
I like it. And I downloaded it like an old man, and it pops up every once in a while on my my iPad, and I'll listen.
That's my jam.
So, but Peter's right. There is
that's a win.
The one area of the world where it doesn't matter. You don't have to be politically correct. You don't have to be sober. You don't have to do the right thing is in music.
I like this one. You heard this one, Don?
Maybe I'm just wishful drinking.
That's my jam.
Something to sink.
No, she was wishful drinking last night. Matter of fact, she didn't have to wish much. She was there. So, but
that's my jam.
It's a shot in the dark.
No, she's good. She's a good poppy country singer. I enjoy her.
Listen, there is no.
Her streams are going to be up so high tomorrow. Dude, I have now played her. Hold on. This woman who I've never heard of in my life, and she has a lot of streams. I'm not trying to downplay her. She's a big deal. She's just not in our world, either mine or yours.
Well, she was partially in my world for that song.
For 1 second, when you accidentally were on either the CMTs or the. You don't even know what
how
show
you discover things.
I'm just saying, she's not in your day-to-day world. You don't flip to country. You don't. Do you flip on the country station on Sirius a lot?
But outlaw country? No, I do not.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
not a fan.
She's tangentially in your world, and I now have played her. I've done 3 radio shows today, which is already a problem, but I've done 3 radio shows today. I've played her on all 3 shows.
So
it's a good day for whatever her Ingrid Andres.
Yeah, but when what was it? When Randy Johnson threw a pitch and killed a pigeon. It was like a big deal, and it was like he almost got arrested.
Right.
When Ozzy bit off the head of a bat, people thought it was adorable. When Alice Cooper threw a chicken in the crowd, and that chicken was absolutely torn apart, and Alice said, I thought it could fly, people thought it was funny, and it's something we talk about. But obviously, when you get in more buttoned-up industries, it's bad. But in music, you're right. It's probably going to end up helping her career. But if she does have a serious problem, then hopefully she will get that corrected for sure. Pete Alonso did not win the home run derby.
I didn't watch for more than 30 seconds.
And listen, it's just not my thing. But you watch because there's nothing else on. Marco's kind of interested in home runs and all that. But listen, it's not captivating. But what came from it was that the locals spoke. Because you've got two high-powered free agents on both respective teams in Soto and Alonso. And both of them spoke. And I thought both of them went about their message differently. You probably have the Juan Soto. He was on. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. What he had to say about his pending free agency on the eve and now the day of the All-Star game.
Yeah, will this year's result impact if you want to stay here?
I don't know if it's going to affect any of my decision. Whenever we're there, we're going to sit down and look around. But right now, I hope to win another championship with the Yankees. We're trying to do our best, and that's what we focus on.
All right, so he's your typical Scott Boras client, not giving too much, not revealing too much. And then you've got Pete Alonso, who's also a free agent, and he did not mince words about where he wants to be.
Yeah, he was asked about his love for New York.
I love New York. I love the Mets. I love being in Queens. Like, it's really been such a special place. I mean, some of my best, not just baseball memories, but life memories have been in New York. And I mean, it's been, I don't know, I think almost 9-10 years. And for me, like how the fans, the organization has welcomed me, embraced me, like from day one, not just in the big leagues when I crossed over, but from like when I was on the minor league side too. Like, it's been awesome. So like, I had not just great baseball experiences, like I've had the best baseball experiences in my life, but I've grown up in New York. I mean, pretty much all my 20s I've been in New York, since 21, and now I'm 29. Like, it's been a fantastic experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I'm, again, super happy to be a Met, super proud to be a Met, and again, like, it's just been awesome. I'd love to stay, and like, I don't want to get traded. Like, I love it. It's home.
Now, that's not the way Boras wants his clients to speak. So Pete wants to stay here. I don't think that's lip service. I think he wants to be here. Now, he did turn down a contract offer. I'm not saying he's not about the money. He wants to get paid. But he didn't speak, at all guardedly. He wants to stay here. But it doesn't seem like the Mets want to keep him. And I'm telling you, the similarities between Barkley and Alonso are amazing. It's scary how close they are. They're almost identical, Peter. Identical situations. Think about it. Saquon Barkley, drafted by the Giants, a forever Giant, great player. Same thing with Pete Alonso with the Mets. Both of them becoming free agents, and it doesn't seem like either of the organizations they play for wanted to keep them. And then the similarity where when you watch the Hard Knocks with the Giants, John Mara wanted to keep Barkley. But Shane's in charge, and there is a salary cap, so John Mara took a step back, even though clearly he wanted to keep Barkley, and Barkley wanted to stay. Giants didn't want to keep him. He leaves. Seems like it's a similar situation, except Steve Cohen doesn't have to worry about a salary cap. Will he, Peter, back off the way Mara did and let Stearns do what he needs to do and not Bigfoot him? Or when this comes time, especially depending on what happens over the next, if the Mets do not trade him, and he ends up having a successful season, and the Mets go to the playoffs and beyond, will Steve Cohen step in and say, no, David, I trust your judgment, but we don't have a cap. I'm prepared to go with a luxury tax. I'm sitting on billions of dollars, and it's burning a hole in my pocket. We're keeping Pete, and won't back off the way John Mara did. I think that's where maybe my analogy kind of splits to where will Cohen back off the way Mara did, or will Cohen say, hey, I got the money. We're not in a cap sport. I'm willing to take on the luxury tax and all that comes with that. I don't want Pete to go.
The number one question is that how he feels? Do we know that is how Steve Cohen feels about Pete Alonso?
We knew Mara wore his heart on his sleeve, and we have a history of how he felt about Eli and how he felt about guys that he drafted and forever John. I don't know how Steve Cohen feels about. Man, now he grew up a Yankee fan. His wife's a Met fan. Whatever. He wears his Met hat. He seems to be a fan of the team now. But I don't know how deep he feels about these guys that wear the pinstripes the way Mara does.
That sort of gets to the conversation we kind of briefly touched on the other day about Alonso and using Saquon as that comp. Does the fan base feel that way about Pete? Like that's the question. Now, you're asking a different question. Is he the kind of owner who will put his foot down if he in fact feels that way. That's your question. And I can't call it yet with Cohen. Like I really can't. I mean, Don, to be honest, that's a huge question. Like the decision on whether or not he's the kind of guy who does that, that will really be the proof on what kind of owner he is, and we don't know that yet.
See that's why I bring it up. Thank you for leading me there. Is that all Met fans are really excited to have Steve Cohen that's going to spend big-time money, and now we're not a poverty franchise anymore like we were with the Wilpons, where one mistake would make them all of a sudden become the Kansas City Royals for a decade. But if we know David Stearns is an X's and O's guy, he's an analytic guy, he's not going to be free spending. He is going to do what he thinks is right for the baseball team. He doesn't seem to like Pete Alonso, doesn't think Pete Alonso fits into the team he wants to build, and is willing to let him go. If he lets David Stearns run the team as he wants to, then I'd ask the question, then what good is Steve Cohen's money? If Steve Cohen's money is going to help this team eventually get over the top, then you need a general manager that thinks in like mind with him. If David Stearns is going to talk him out of paying for somebody that he doesn't believe deserves to be paid, well, then does it really matter how much money Steve Cohen has? Like, so I'm really curious. Like, if Steve Cohen wants to keep Pete Alonso and says, I want this guy to help me sell tickets, I like him, I want him to be a forever Met. I happen to hear Don LaGreca's rant about Ed Kranepool, and I want to change that. I want to make Pete Alonso the face of this franchise for the rest of his career. And David Stearns says, no, Steve, I'm telling you, we can't do that. I think I can do better. Let me do my job. Then what good is Steve Cohen's money? Because I don't think Steve Cohen's going to spend like a drunken sailor. I think he's going to do what's right for the baseball. And I'm cool with that, because I trust him and I think he's going to build a good team. But then, obviously, you're not getting from Steve Cohen what you think, because it sounds like they'll be like the Yankees. They're going to work in a budget, and they're not going to overpay. They're not going to pay a penny more than they think somebody's worth. So my scary thing from a Met standpoint is we all think that Steve Cohen's going to pay whatever for Juan Soto. He's going to blow the Yankees out of the water, and he is going to get Juan Soto at all costs. But what if David Stearns says, no, Steve, come on, we're not paying $60 million for Juan Soto. That's silly. This is what I think we should offer him. And all of a sudden now the Mets aren't using their wealth, and now he's got a chance to go someplace else or stay with the Yankees. I don't know, and this could be a really good test case how this is handled with Alonso, what kind of power Steve Cohen actually has. Or is this David Stearns' team? And if that's the case, then what good's all this money?
I would almost argue, though, it's not a matter of whether he has the power, because we know that he has the power. It's just, is that the kind of owner he is? Does he flex the muscle?
Or he just says, I have my baseball people.
And but that's a huge difference, because the distinction is the owners who fail are the ones who say they're going to let people do what they do, but then they overstep.
But in the Giants case, John Mara, if football wasn't a capped sport, I think John Mara wins the face-off. And just give Saquon what he wants. Because it doesn't matter. I can pay him $25 million. It's not a capped sport. We're in New York. We print money. But in a capped sport, Mara had to be like, all right, listen, I trust you. I got to listen to the money people. I got to listen to these guys because, listen, I followed my heart with Eli Manning. Look what that got me. You know, I can't follow my heart. I got to use my head here. We can't afford to make a mistake. We can't overpay for a player. But Steve Cohen can.
But then, so that's an interesting conversation, though. I guess, Don, all we can do is speculate on whether or not we think he's that. The other question I have today for Mets fans is, do you see Pete Alonso as that guy? Like, we're sitting here, he's having a great year. He is a major reason why your team now basically, as Dave Rothenberg put it earlier, will basically be competing up until when the football season starts, at least. Pete Alonso is a big reason for that. Do you have love for Pete the way Giants fans have love for Saquon? It's an interesting conversation because we knew how they felt about Saquon.
But right now, the Mets are in a run, and it really hasn't involved Pete as much as Saquon was involved in the Giants run in 22.
True. But then, of course, this year he's coming off of what was not a very special season. So everyone's situation is different. Game Time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Coverage of the All-Star Game. That's right. The MLB All-Star Game can be heard on 98.7 right here, starting at 7. And my New York Liberty host the Sun at 7 o'clock. That's their last game before the break. That's Game Time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. All the phone lines are jammed, but we will talk to you on the other side. A lot to break down. We do want to do more of the football, Don, and get more into the Aaron Rodgers, what the ceilings could be for this team, plus more rankings from the greatest players of the 21st century, which is a lot of fun as well. All right? Peter, Don, The K Show on 98.7 ESPN New York.
Want to turn hair loss into hair gains? With Hims, discover a range of prescription treatments in a variety of convenient forms, like the quick-drying 4-in-1 spray. Products are formulated with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil, so you can stop hair loss and regrow hair in just 3 to 6 months for more confident hair days. Regain thicker, fuller hair now. Get started today at hims.com.
We started to use Square. As we moved from one location to two, we quickly realised that we needed better data so that we could customise the curation for each of the markets. Originally, we started with the KDS. By adding the Square Online for the full grocery offering, we hoped to grow sales about 20-25%. And we used the loyalty program, which has definitely generated a lot of repeat business. Since onboarding with Square, we've tripled the business. It's been fantastic.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Let's explore your future with Udemy. You can learn how to program and build websites, study design and create logos, improve your presentation skills, and sell your ideas. With Udemy, you can learn practical skills from thousands of online courses taught by real-world experts. Explore your future. Udemy.
This will be the last moment you ever think of soda as being a dirty word. Soda! And that's because this soda, Poppy, has none of the bad stuff. Instead, it has all of the flavor. The future of soda is now, and it's called Poppy.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
Hard water makes it hard to keep your home looking like the work of art you've always envisioned it would be. Culligan softeners reduce hard water buildup and your cleaning time, transforming every drop, every splash, every rinse into the fine art of a long-lasting clean. With a Culligan water softener, revel in the breathtaking beauty of your home, just the way you've always pictured it. Culligan, water you love.
My name is Marina Jordan, and I want to live.
It's so easy to get your windshield replaced using SafeLife. Tell the people why you haven't done it. Started off as a chip, and it just keeps going. So what do we do now? I've scheduled an appointment at SafeLife.com.
SafeLife Repair.
SafeLife Replace.
Yes! SafeLife Repair, SafeLife Replace.
Popeyes has the best of both wings. Our juicy chicken is marinated to perfection with 2 distinct twists on all 6 flavors. Whether you prefer our spicy bone-in wings or our classic tender white meat boneless wings, we've got the best of both.
Chicken from Popeyes.
You know what Blue Chew is? You could boost your numbers if you took it.
Never heard of Blue Chew.
Blue Chew? Yeah, you know Blue Chew?
Yeah, so it's like chewable tablet things. Like,
oh, girl, how do you know Blue?
Her man.
Come on. And it made you like him more, right?
Absolutely. Or you could.
Where do I get Blue Chew?
Oh, you want to know where you can get it now? Well, you can go online and get your first month free, actually. So.
Okay, I mean, can't say no to free month.
Would you date him if he took a Blue Chew?
I would have to go with a yes.
Look, you're in it, my boy.
Like a date, man.
My boy.
Thank you, Blue Chew.
This is the GMC Sierra, powered by the TurboMax engine, with the confidence of 430 pound-feet of best-in-class standard torque. GMC Sierra, it's the truck. Current eligible GMC lessees can get this low-mileage lease on this 2024 Sierra Elevation for around $389 per month. We are professional-grade GMC.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
When did Dave say that? And for what jam was he talking?
Right Now by Van Halen. It was the beginning. You got over there, don't you, Jacob? It was just the beginning. We played the beginning of it.
Okay.
And he got all high. He started going all 1980s. You know, it's very funny, by the way. David, what a great talk show. It's maybe pound for pound the best, some say. I've heard many people say he's the best. I was giving him a hard time for Alex's jersey choice. Because I got him the authentic. I said, and Dave told me the story. He said he went to Alex and said, Peter wants to give you an authentic Giant jersey. Think clearly about what you want this to be. And we talked about who it could have been. Dexter Lawrence, Dave mentioned Kayvon, Akira K even. You know, guys will be around.
Yeah.
Might be a part of this team.
Might be.
And the young boy decided to go with Darren Wall.
There was a lot of hype around him.
I know,
but he was being optimistic.
He was being a kid.
Because
he got caught up being a kid.
13-year-olds aren't jaded the way we are.
But, Anthony, do you hear the part when in discussing it, Dave just routinely and casually referred to him as an idiot? It was very funny.
Now, did I tell you that I did eventually get him a gift?
A bar mitzvah gift?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was. I don't remember it being a delayed situation. What did you end up getting?
Well, because we went to Ben's back before the pandemic. That was Ben's.
Oh, you mean
my bar mitzvah gift for son one.
For Ben, whose name you've clearly forgotten that in this moment.
Right. So his second son, Alex, we were invited to the bar mitzvah. I couldn't go because it was on my anniversary. And I was going to send him a check, leave him a check. At the
Anthony, you know what happens on the anniversary, right?
And I never.
Oh yeah.
And I never got around to getting him anything.
How long past here, Don?
So it's game 5, Eastern Conference Final, Rangers-Panthers.
Oh, hello.
And we had the whole suite set up. You were invited, but you couldn't go.
Oh, I remember the situation.
And I was working the game, but I swung by, hung out. I was only doing pre and post, so I was available to kind of hang during the game. And I noticed Alex had a replica Artemi Panarin jersey. So I said, you know what? I'm going to run down to the shop, and I got him an authentic Artemi Panarin jersey. And I gave it to him, and I said, I'm sorry, late, but here's your bar mitzvah gift.
Oh, my God. First of all, I'm a little annoyed. I mean, you copied my gift.
No, I don't think so. How would I copy your gift?
Anthony, you sensing any gift copying here?
Well, no, because Artemi Panarin is way more important to the Rangers.
That was his fault. But Anthony, this doesn't sound familiar to you?
Well, look, I think if you're a son of Dave and you're a big sports fan, I mean, this.
So you
what else
you have cornered the market on jerseys,
authentic jerseys, because that's what makes it
authentic
special.
Football. I win hockey. Listen, I was
by the way,
listen, it was
how much they running for in the store?
Well,
at the stadium.
Yeah, so but the reason I took advantage of it is I do get a discount as an employee. But it was still $2+ bills. It was an expensive gift, but it was also, 10 months later.
Do they sell an authentic Knick jersey at the building?
Not during a Ranger game, but yeah, no, during a Knick game, of course.
Wait, hold on. They clear all those stores. They clear the store.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Why is it insane? What do you think they do during Jet games after a Giant game?
What, Anthony, they just flip it? They just turn the store around?
Yeah, they just
turn it.
What do you mean?
On the other side of where the Knicks stuff is, facing the wall, is the Ranger stuff. They just
so like literally the wall gets flipped.
Yeah, you just flip the wall.
On the downstairs one, the one that's in the main concourse, I know that they could just turn it and flip it.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
That's
So
what
it's not people walking through and taking every hanger down. Okay.
Then that's what they do with the Giants and the Jets.
Well,
usually they have a week, but sometimes if the Giants play a Sunday game and the Jets are Monday at home.
But this is a terrible comparison.
Why is it terrible?
Come on, you know the answer. The Rangers and the Knicks are the same thing. They could keep it all up all the time. They're sister teams, no?
Yeah, but I think they want to fill the room because you would sacrifice some Knicks stuff if you had Ranger apparel there. So they only have so much room in these stores. It's not like you're walking through a Walmart. You got the store. So if they mixed and matched Rangers and Knicks, there would be some things that were lost for both. So you want to have all the different jerseys. You want to have the Winter Classic jerseys, Stadium Series jerseys, different hats and stuff. So they flip it.
That's okay. You know what? It's a good gift by you. Was he happy?
But it was like, oh my God, he was elated.
Well, now he has a jersey he can actually wear. Darren Waller, I bought him the jersey Big Don so he could like grow into it.
Yeah, that's not going to age well. What are you going to do?
No, it's garbage. What, you want you to wipe up drinks with it? It's garbage. Now, can you, if it's a nice, authentic jersey...
Well, what if he became a fan of his music? Would that be something you can wear to a concert? Or would you need to go with the Raider one?
No, what you have to do is... What number was Waller again? Like 13 or something? What was he? No, what was... He's a low number, right?
It was a low number.
As you can see, it's super impactful.
But this answers the question.
But my question was going to be, if you're wearing a jacket to the game, which you often are at a football game, he was number 12. Oh, you know what? When Daniel Jones is invariably replaced, maybe your next quarterback wears 12,
and maybe you're really lucky, and they draft his Waller, and then you're set.
And then you're really in business. All right, let's take a couple phone calls here from the people. Let's see, so many people. Reggie in Harlem, good old Reggie in Harlem. What's up, Reggie?
Hey, my man Peter and Don, what's up, man?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. My thing is with last night, I think they should have people sending a demo because, all right, she was drunk, right? But Carl Lewis wasn't drunk. And that young girl that Mo Cheeks helped get through it, she wasn't, she was a young girl. She wasn't drinking.
Clearly, they have to audition. You have to send a tape in.
Well, no. If you're not, that woman's been nominated for 4 Grammys.
No, but he's just talking about other people. You're not talking about her, right? Clearly, she's qualified.
I mean, just overall, let them know, so they can prove that they know the song. You know what I'm saying? Besides her being drunk, you gotta, with the Carl Lewis, he didn't even know the song. That young girl didn't know the song. So they need to send in demos.
Well, obviously she didn't know the song.
I thought she knew it
because she was drunk.
No, what I'm saying is, right, okay, yeah. I thought that she knew the song, but okay. But that's just for overall, for everybody. Need to send in a demo because, like I said, Carl Lewis didn't know the song. That young girl didn't know the song. So I think that would eliminate it. And then also, try and tell them, not to drink. I mean, I don't know how much they can control them drinking, but
it was not great. Anymore. Reggie, would you ever consider if you were offered singing the national anthem?
I'm looking
because you do sort of, when you call Reggie, you sound a little like Killer Cam. I've said that before. I mean, listen, if not the national anthem, you could at least sing the Dipset anthem,
Yeah, oh yeah, I do that.
All right, Reggie.
I sing national anthem too.
Thank you, Reggie. Jacob, you don't hear Cam and him at all? Or are you too young to really appreciate Cameron's voice?
It's crazy because as soon as you say I heard Killer Cam, the whole song, him in the background just talking.
He sounds like there's a little of his quality that sounds like Cam. I always hear that.
I don't know if it's a New York thing or uptown thing.
It might be an uptown thing. There may be an uptown accent that I was sleeping on. Let's go to Drew in Hoboken. Hey, Drew.
Hey, guys. I wanted to talk about the anthem quickly. And I think, if nothing else, I would argue that we need more instrumentalists playing the national anthem versus singers. But I also want to give you guys props for handling it with nuance, because obviously, like, we hope if this is serious, she gets the help she needs. But, you know, when you pair the last part of the apology in text form with swearing, it does kind of come across as a bit disingenuous. But, you know, props to you guys for handling it with nuance. You know, these are serious issues, and, you know, let's hope if she gets the help she needs.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that she's not going to take it seriously. She's not going to be able to get the help. And if it's a fact where she's just using that as an excuse and she doesn't have a problem, then shame on her. But if she does have a problem, hopefully this was her kind of using humor in a serious moment. Because, again, text is really difficult to tell tone, right? I mean, if we were interviewing her and she said that and she giggled, you'd be like, all right, she's just trying to make light of a very serious moment. But hopefully she gets some help, because she's exceptionally talented. And, yeah, it's not going to hurt her career. If anything, it'll probably enhance it. But what's not going to help her is if she's got a real problem and isn't taken care of. So, hey, it helped Joe Namath, right? I mean, Joe Namath wouldn't have gotten help if not for that moment with Susie Kolber. But it was an embarrassing moment. It woke him up to his situation, and he was able to find clarity through that. So hopefully what we're looking at as a lighthearted, fun moment that opened the show is a serious moment that turns her life around, if indeed there is a problem.
Let's go to Mike on the island. What up, Mike? Hello. Hey there. Hi.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, buddy. You got like a window up or something? Window down? Anything you can do to reduce the air situation?
How is that? Is that any better? Or I think it's just my car, unfortunately.
Yeah, what are you driving an 18-wheeler? I mean, this is insane.
Well, go for your point. We'll see if we can fight through it.
It's an 18-wheeler Prius. Anyways, I was actually talking to Anthony about how you guys have been trying to find that, the Aaron Rodgers voice. And I was thinking the other day, and I think I found the perfect voice for Aaron Rodgers, and it's something like a Hank Hill sounding, like how Hank Hill was like, I love these propane and propane accessories, and I love the New York Jets.
Wait, but why would he go? Why do you think he should go? I love Hank Hill impressions, but why Hank Hill?
Because if you listen to him, when you hear him talk, he definitely has that Hank Hill sounding, like that slow drawl to him, especially when he really starts talking about things that he's passionate about. I feel like when Hank Hill starts talking about propane, he's very passionate about that, and that's how I feel Aaron Rodgers gets.
Mike, I'm not mad at that. I want to re-listen to some Aaron Rodgers audio, but when I think Hank Hill, I think it's something very different.
Listen, I think we have a voice for Aaron Rodgers, and it's what Peter Rosenberg's doing. I think he's nailed it. I think it's special.
It's coming along.
I love it. We workshopped it, which was a risk that you decided to take, and we're all better for it.
You know what? And now we know what they're saying?
That's my jam.
Let's go to Caesar in Huntington. Hey, Caesar.
All hail.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
Hello. Don, Peter. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to connect with you guys. As far as, did anybody actually watch the Home Run Derby?
Not really.
I'm like, right. I mean, how bad is that for the country? I mean, we're going through trials and tribulations, and yeah, it's like, oh, okay, I got to hear that. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
But you know what, Caesar, I'm not going to apologize for that. I mean, listen, the reason I'm not a big fan of the home run derby because it's batting practice. Part of what's great about a home run is there's a pitcher throwing a ball trying to get you to strike out, and you hit a home run. So it's not my thing. And I think that but these are moments. Who knows why? I bet you if this was, let's say this anthem was before the Copa America final, which millions of people watch. I think it goes just as viral. Like, I don't think this is a referendum on how bad the home run derby is.
No.
I think it would have happened anyway.
Oh, no, I think, like I told you, I think this helped the home run derby. I think the only difference would have been if this didn't happen, no one would have talked about it. Who won the home run derby?
But I don't. It was Hernandez.
Okay.
Teoscar Hernandez. But we wouldn't break it down anyway. What's there to break down?
Also, Anthony made a really good point, which is rare because he's not bright. But he sent me. Look, he's not even listening. He doesn't even know. He sent me.
Believe me, it's more he felt it rather than heard it.
Well, no, with Anthony, you know what my worry is? He's like Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison, just writing down the names on the list of people he's coming for.
And then putting lipstick on.
Yeah, and then putting. And
I don't think. If I were to come up with a top 5 scenes that I just burst out laughing and had to rewatch numerous times, that would be in the top 5. When I first saw that, I laughed out loud.
By the way, I have to tell you, if you're looking for a few laugh out loud spots, I know Michael will give me a hard time and think I'm getting paid for it. I got to tell you, I LOL'd for the first time in a while at the new Bad Boys.
Okay.
There are like a few Martin Lawrence parts that have that same thing of like, you're just very surprised by where they decided to go. Because that's what that scene is about, is that Buscemi's writing down the names, and then when he sits back and starts putting on the lipstick, you're like, what? Now, as time went on and you get to know Sandler's movies better, in retrospect, it's not a crazy thing that they did.
Yeah, but in 95.
It was new. Like, we hadn't seen...
Billy Madison was his first movie.
So
his first movie.
It was his baby.
Yeah.
So like by the time you get through Happy Gilmore, that kind of scene wouldn't surprise you the same way. But in that moment, you're like, what?
There's another scene in that movie that's similar.
So
Billy Madison.
So I'm going to see if I can guess what it is on the other side. But Anthony said something interesting earlier, and I'll say this before we break and get to more of your calls. One line is open at 1-800-919-3776. What the hell did you say? Oh, the way that they reformatted the home run derby. We understand that they were trying to help the players. There were 100 less home runs hit. People already didn't think it was great. Are 100 less home runs the way to improve it? I'm not so sure. We'll get into some of the football. We'll go back to Pete Alonso, take more of your calls. Peter and Don on the Yes Network and ESPN New York. Now, hold on. I think I have to talk.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
At Away, we know what real travel looks like. So when we make luggage, we think about how you actually get from place to place. How travel brings pit stops and welcome detours. How you deserve an easier, more flexible way to pack. Because when it comes to luggage, how you actually travel matters. Away, designed by travelers for travelers.
This is my coffee shop. And that's me in my custom shirt from Custom Ink. This week, we moved into a new, bigger space and brought on another employee. To celebrate, I ordered new branded gear for the whole team. Everything was so easy to make with Custom Ink's Design Lab. I just chose my products, added our logo, and placed my order. Our new gear really helps us look and feel like a team. Bring your own team together with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to theblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Turn tables fast with Square Register at the counter or Square Terminal in your hand. Get a POS that connects to a KDS to handle orders ASAP. Easily take orders in person or online. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
These pics are insane. You cook like this every night?
Yeah, but here's my secret. They're Home Chef's fast and fresh meals.
What are those?
They're easy to prep, there's no cleanup after, and they cook in the microwave or oven.
Hold on, I gotta try this.
You can get 18 free meals plus free shipping when you sign up for Home Chef today.
Premier leaders in non-surgical knee pain treatments. Instead of surgically replacing your knees, our state-of-the-art procedures replenish the depleted natural cushioning in your joints with an FDA-approved shock-absorbing gel, without surgery and without downtime.
After the first injection, I knew it was going to work.
We've successfully treated thousands of patients. Medicare and most private insurance cover this procedure.
Full motion, no pain, walking, everything just back normal like it used to be.
Locations in Garden City, Smithtown, and Wall, New Jersey. Call 1-800-834-5911 for a no-charge, no-obligation knee pain assessment or go to arthritis-kneepain.com.
Hi. Deprioritized. But it's a work call. Oh, a work call? Deprioritized.
T-Mobile home internet relies on cell phone towers, so when their network gets busy,
Not the fridge. Come on.
you can be deprioritized.
It's too bad. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Forget T-Mobile cell phone internet. Get home internet that puts you first. Get Spectrum.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay, and how fast you can get started.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Oh, you know what?
This actually sounds pretty good. What is this? I'm not. Please, if anybody, if I ever say something like that, you have permission to just punch me square in the nose. I don't want to.
Not the forehead, though.
No, because that's a completely different experience.
That's the Dipset anthem by the Diplomats.
I like it from what I heard.
Cameron, Jim Jones.
The Jim Jones?
Well, my Jim Jones. By the way, happy belated birthday to Jim Jones. His birthday a couple days ago. My birthday is a week from today. You know what I'm doing at some point in the next several days? I don't want to give away the details, but I'm shooting an interview for something. And I just was told that we are doing a section inside the stadium.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, Yankee Stadium.
That's right. Yankee Stadium.
So obviously it's somebody that's associated with the Yankees.
I don't want to play a whole guessing game here on that. I don't want to know.
All right, no, because I think
you can guess off the air.
I think I'll guess off the air. I don't want to guess on it.
Yeah, because I mean, I want to save it. It's a thing. But yeah, I'm told we're going to be doing it in the stadium. Now, I was alerted about something troubling that happened on the DiPietro and Rothenberg show relating to my friend Don.
Okay.
Let's listen in.
So Don took the lessons 3 beach bashes ago when he sang Mrs. Robinson, I guess.
And that was after voice lessons.
That was after lessons.
And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know.
I mean, if it was Willie Wilson that gave him those lessons?
I think so, yeah.
Do you lose all credibility? Like, how could you, like, you have a young child, you want to learn to sing properly. You can't now bring him to Willie Wilson after he's working with Don.
In fairness to Willie Wilson, though, how did he sound before the lessons, though? We don't know.
Well, guess what? We got Willie Wilson on the line.
I mean, that was a bad example, Willie. That song, I don't know, it got away from me. But you've done a great job with that. You're very good at teaching me to sing. I think that the people that like me singing, it's because of you.
Thank you, Don. How you guys doing?
How you been, Willie?
Good. Things are great. So, first of all, Mrs. Robinson, we didn't take lessons at that point, Don.
Oh.
Your lessons started. The song after lessons was Creep. And if there's one guy who knows music, it's Peter Rosenberg. And his quote was, wow, he's improved. Do you remember that, Peter?
I do. Do you have Creep over there? I think we have it. Creep. Now it makes sense.
Which is a very difficult song to sing.
And that's when Don went to the next level. When it was Creep.
Exactly.
Here we go. Here's Don singing Creep.
Just poke fun at me, and then I didn't even know about it because I didn't listen to their yo-yo show today. And you know what? And the thing with Mrs. Robinson, that was just a bad choice of why I felt I needed to sing with an English accent. That really had nothing to do with me singing poorly. It's just I was like, I was Mrs. Robinson. I thought I was like, I just like lost it.
Willie,
I was in the moment, and it got
Willie,
lost.
you did a great job.
Thank you.
And you should be proud of what you've done with Don LaGreca.
Thanks, guys. Also, just before you cut me off here, then the next year he did the Meatloaf song, and even Michael, who loves to poke fun at Don, said, "Wow, that was really good."
Bad out of hell.
Great
Yeah,
job.
Willie, you did a terrific job. These guys don't know what they're talking about.
All due respect to the others we have at our events, Willie. No one's Willie Wilson. You know what I mean?
And Willie is going to be at the softball on the 27th.
Playing music or playing softball?
He's going to be playing music.
Oh. Wait, is that a new thing? Have we done that before?
When he's available. He hasn't been available the last couple of years.
So can I ask you a question? This is so important. I'm bringing something to the air that's important.
Okay.
And I'm sorry to air it out on the air,
Sure.
but it needs to be done.
Huh?
When he comes, will he bring his own system? He'll bring like a sound system to play on?
Yes.
Okay.
And we will make sure that that's the sound system we use to introduce everybody because I don't know what
every year, the only thing that doesn't work at Don's softball game is they do the player introductions, and Mrs. Sasso gives her a little talk,
and nobody hears it.
And nobody hears a word. And I'm always looking around, talking to your brother, going, "Can you hear anything? I can't hear anything."
I think what we're going to do is last year we were giving scholarships to kids in need in the Hawthorne area. I think this year it should be to get a new PA system for the Wakefield. I think that's what
it's so bad.
Yeah, because
all right, but Willie's coming though, so you'll have some sound.
Yeah, we're going to be okay. Because I felt bad, like I didn't even realize I couldn't be heard, and I'm like, you think these guys would pay attention when I introduced them? And I had some really cool stories. I talk about that my dad coached there and stuff, and then nobody hears it.
I know you're telling your love story with Greg Buttle every year, and nobody can hear what you're saying.
It was kind of like how I felt when I first started working at ESPN. I was like talking to myself before we grew an audience.
Oh no. And also,
this is like back like 02.
Maybe you grab the mic and we get a little.
And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know.
See, that's not bad. I don't know what I was just trying to be fun.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
It's me, Johnny LaGreca.
It's so weird
baby.
because Simon and Garfunkel aren't English.
I thought you were doing a cover of a cover.
No, because who covered it? It's the Lemonheads.
Oh, so
I don't think they're English either. I just think I just was.
Maybe you're an idiot. Yeah,
listen,
it's on the table.
But I don't. Make me part of the fun, man. Like, don't sit there and make fun of my singing when everybody seemed to like it.
Right. And then laughing.
You know what? I think they're jealous.
I think
Dave's
so, too.
jealous because I got to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
Dave's kind of a frump. Like what did he bring to the table?
Not much.
As far as he just sits there. He gets mad when he loses trivia again.
I mean, he's a great host.
But no, I told you he's pound for pound the best host on the station. I love the guy.
But he's not an athlete.
But
not a singer.
DiPietro, fun. Bart, fun. Han, fun. Kay, fun.
Yeah. But Dave
felt like he sends out a vibe like I really don't want to be here.
Yeah, and he's jealous that you bring the vibe of fun.
And I don't care. Make fun of me. I don't care, but make me part of the fun.
That's right.
Don't make fun of me behind my back.
The way they were laughing so hard to your face,
and then Rip It and Willie, who's really good at what he does.
Yeah, exactly.
These are salt of the earth people. These are better people than Dave.
1-800-919-3776. Yes, all the phone lines are jammed, but we will get to you. It's the K Show. Big 4 o'clock hour next right here on ESPN New York and Yes.
Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest.
Never read a line of poetry, I'm not a poet, but I sit up in the back of my buttons cause I'm fresh. Never read a book on how to rip it, I just know it, I don't need your explanation cause I'm better than the rest. Better than the rest. Better than the rest. Let me take you for a ride. I can make you feel alive.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by a major food group with Carbone classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
That's Aaron Judge.
Sometimes you get the feeling you're watching a Hall of Famer right in the middle of his prime.
The captain is rolling.
We're going to need a longer tape measure.
A monster blast. See ya. Wow.
31. You're also widely known for your ability to mimic the batting stances of players, such as Dave Winfield, who wore 31 for the Yankees. $505,000. Your wife has 505,000 more Instagram followers than you. Why do you think people like her so much more?
Oh my God. We talk about this a lot. It's kind of embarrassing.
It works so good for me. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better, even this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Does RexMD really work? Over 85% of patients said not only does it work, they saw results the very first night. Get started today with a 3-month trial pack if appropriate at tryrexmd.com.
At Domino's, we know there's a lot of pressure to tip these days. Which is why we want to say
Thanks for the tip.
by tipping you back. Tip your Domino's driver $3 or more online and we'll tip you $3 to use on next week's order.
Creeping up on 403 in the big city. Don and Peter on the K Show. Michael will be back on Friday. That's good.
It feels good every time, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like it. Was a great.
Have you ever, Anthony? Have you ever noticed that when if Don opens the mic to start a break, he has to say the words "the big city"?
It is the big city.
No, it's my thing. No, but it's a thing. I mean, it's not a crutch.
Wait, hold on, but it's definitively your thing. You made a decision?
No, I've been doing it for years. If I do open, I'm like, 403 in the big city. Like, it's just my trying to like mock old-timey radio DJ stuff.
Who is the old-timey DJ who lives in your head? Are there any from your childhood?
Oh, it's like a Cousin Brucey.
I never heard. I've only heard Stern make fun of Cousin Brucey. Really?
Well, I mean, listen, Cousin Brucey's like deep into his 80s. He was kind of old for me, but I worked at a pharmacy.
Didn't he sound like?
Yeah. Well, hey, cousins. You know, it's just kind of over the top, but that's the kind of way DJs were. So it's kind of like my ode. I don't have like a specific DJ in my head. It's just that, you know, Bing bong, it's 3 minutes past the hour at 4 o'clock here in the big city. Don LaGreca and Peter Rosenberg with you, spinning the tunes you die for. Yeah. Let's open up the phones at 1-800-919-3776. What do you think in New York City? How about that Pete Alonso? Does he want to be in New York? Sounds like he wants to stay. Juan Soto? We're not sure. 1-800-919-3776. Give me some opinion on what's happening in the big city.
See, it's the words of the big city. By the way, this just in, I don't know if you know this. The Detroit Tigers series coming up in August.
They pronounce it Detroit.
Cousin Brucey. They're bringing him in. He's getting a shot.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be Susan Waldman and cousin Brucey. I can't wait to see what happens personally.
Now, meanwhile, we volunteer our services for a spring training game on Yes.
People, they'd rather
the
be
New York Yankees. Michael's like, we're the New York Yankees. Okay, I'll play along.
Well, listen, people have taste. And that taste is clear. All right, guys, how about this? Get ready to tee 'em high and let 'em fly at the ESPN New York Tee It Up Golf Challenge. I was invited today over text message.
Wait a minute.
After I complained on the air in a group text with Dave, Vinny says, Peter, you're invited.
Yeah,
That's not. By the way, I didn't even get like a follow-up text later or call like, hey, no, seriously, I really would like you to go. It was just thrown into the group chat.
Is that hoping like when months later we're like, well, I text Peter? Like
I said the words.
The whole timeline.
You know, the words "you're invited" aren't really being invited. It's like telling someone you're loved. It's not the same as saying I love you. You know what I mean? I want to be invited. I don't want to say you're invited. I want them to say, Peter, would you come to the softball, the golf tournament? That would really be something. We'd appreciate that.
Or just how about a phone call that it slipped through the cracks? We thought that you weren't around. Like, give me something.
Come on.
That's a bad job. What was your response?
No response.
I like it.
I have not responded. I kind of just got caught up, but here we are now. So anyways, it is going down, though, guys. Next Monday, the 22nd. It's presented by Jake's 58 Casino. It's at Colonial Springs Golf Club in Farmingdale, and it's going to be great. You can purchase your foursome today on ESPN New York on the app. Join Rick, Dave, Bart, Alan, Justin Tuck, Victor Cruz, John Starks, and more. All the proceeds to the Garden of Dreams Foundation. Individual tickets for cocktails and dinner also available. It's the ESPN New York Teed Up Golf Challenge presented by Jake's 58 Hotel and Casino and brought to you by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers, Michelob Ultra, Captain Morgan Slice, Crushed Orange Soda, and the new Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Learn more at ESPNNewYorkGolf.com. You want to go back to the... What did you say?
You would have been a hit there.
I mean... By the way, do you see the RFK thing today with Trump?
No, I caught pieces of it. I was going to go back and try to figure out what happened. I was he tweeted an apology or something.
So this is another one of those easy stories to talk about because it's political without being political. Really,
okay.
It's just interesting.
We'll find out.
Oh yeah, I love Bobby, and this story is relevant to me because that's my guy, Bobby. Bobby Jr. RFK apparently posted a video that is now everywhere of Trump on the phone with him on speakerphone. Post shooting, right? It's from I think he's talking about getting treated since the attempted assassination. And he's like talking to Bobby Kennedy, and he's kind of warming him up, it sounds like, for an endorsement, trying to sort of grease the skids, if you will. And he's kind of agreeing with him on his vaccination stuff. And he's saying, like, hey, I think, I could do a lot for you. You could do a lot for me. And someone on RFK's team, I think people are presuming it's his son, released the video. And that's the apology you saw from RFK, is him profusely apologizing to Trump for saying, like, I leaked your phone call. I mean, just put the video out of him on speakerphone with him.
Why is he apologizing if it was somebody else that did it?
Well, it's his
team.
Taking responsibility. It went on his stuff.
All right.
I mean, God, I'll tell you what, it's hard to get good help these days, Don. This is why you can't trust anyone. You have to. Although, is he lying? No one's going to run that by him? Hey, hey, boss, by the way, how do you feel about us putting out the video of when President Trump called you and you guys had a private conversation?
Well, just the fact that you said the phrase, hey, boss, tells you that you would probably want to let him know ahead of time. But listen, I don't know what.
Dave's kind of a frump. I love Bobby, and he didn't mean it, Donnie. As far as I'm concerned, Trump should be apologizing to Bobby.
For what?
I call him President Kennedy to you and me. Shut up, Fauci. All right, let's go to the busy phones. So many things to talk about. We brought up the Pete Alonso.
Of it all.
And whether or not he will get the old Saquon treatment from Steve Cohen. Will Steve Cohen say, hey, we need this guy? Or ultimately, will we see the end of Pete Alonso's time here in New York? And also, how do fans feel about Pete Alonso as we head into this critical time?
I will say, I think Saquon was more beloved than Pete.
It had to be. There are way more 26 jerseys than Alonso jerseys in Queens.
But they're both pretty important. And both didn't want to get paid by the teams they're on.
Let's go to Judy in Buffalo. But somehow it's a different Judy in Buffalo. Is that possible?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Pete Alonso fan.
All right.
And I fully expected him to use the Derby last night as a vehicle to reestablish himself as a home run hitter, because I have not seen that this year. And if anything, he really compromised himself in any negotiations he's going to make, because I think maybe his career could be waning.
You felt that way because of his performance in the Derby? Judy? Okay.
No, Judy.
Why,
God love
Judy,
you.
why?
But let's say he went out and won his third home run derby. Wouldn't you be like, dude, save it for the second half? Right? He has 18 home runs this year. He's costing himself money based on the season, not based on the home run derby. No executive's paying attention to the home run derby. They're going to pay close attention to the final 70 games of the season. I don't think he's going to get his money no matter what happens. I think that what the Mets are counting on here, I think, Peter, is that they're all of like mind. That no one is going to give him north of $40 million. There might not be anybody that gives him north of $30 million. And that maybe once he tests free agency, his price comes down and the Mets say, okay, I'll sign him for $25 million, but I'm not going to sign him for $35 million. Now, what happened with Barkley is somebody was willing to give him a big contract. It unfortunately ended up being the Philadelphia Eagles. But is there a team out there that's going to give Pete what he wants? Or is it possible the Mets are playing it, listen, I'm not going to give him, we're going to do whatever we can with him, and then he's going to test free agency. And is there a possibility, like a lot of other Boris clients that we saw this past spring, that we're going to get to March and he doesn't have a home? And now maybe the Mets can get him at more of a discount. I don't know. But doesn't seem like David Stearns is a big Pete Alonso fan. But Pete Alonso sounds like he's a big New York Met fan and wants to stay here.
Which
so
is
we'll
nice
see
to
if
hear.
That means anything.
Which at the very least as a fan is nice to hear.
No, it's nice. But don't mistake that for that he's going to pull a Brunson. I don't think he's doing that.
Hey, Jason in Ocean Township. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
First time, long time. Don, you have a voice of an angel. Peter, the most versatile man in entertainment.
Wow.
I think all of your show, next to my wife's radio show, is simply the best.
Oh, your wife's got a radio show?
Yeah, she's country music. She's a driver in the morning in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does she think of Ingrid Andres?
They played it this morning. She asked me, am I calling ESPN because of the national anthem? But, yeah, Nina and Tom, pork roll and eggs in the morning. But,
nice.
Peter, to your point before, you mentioned that we are an interesting country, and I absolutely agree. I work in a school, and one of the things that's always befuddled me outside of the national anthem is we do the Pledge of Allegiance before everything, every meeting, every class, every morning. People just stop like drones in the hallway and do the pledge. And it's always reminded me of, if you've been to a Christian church, the Lord's Prayer. It's so like monotone and robotic, and it's always irked me because we're the only country in the world that does a Pledge of Allegiance before anything.
The Pledge of Allegiance, when you really stop and think about it, it's bizarro land.
It is bizarro land.
I've always been like, we doing this every day at school? I mean, it's wild, Don. I'm sorry. Listen, I don't care if people make that out to be some sort of huge political statement. I ain't scared to use. Listen, I stand for the national anthem every time. I enjoy a good national anthem. The pledge every day is 7:25 in the morning.
I think what happens is there was a time where it got started. It seemed like our country was at war with somebody at some point all the time, right? We went from World War I, then quickly you go to World War II, and it seemed like the Korean police action, war, conflict, whatever you want to call it, spilling into Vietnam. People were being drafted. It was a different world back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, Peter, where I think it made a lot more sense that somebody pledged allegiance to a flag when their dad was maybe serving somewhere in the military, that we were at war, and that you wanted to show allegiance to the flag because we were constantly being tested. Now it doesn't seem to hit us the same because we haven't had those kinds of conflicts. You know, there were times where you would have the Pledge of Allegiance followed by having to go a drill to go to a bomb shelter because there was fear that an atomic bomb was going to be dropped on us, right? So it probably made sense to do it then because you felt like you were pledging your allegiance to the flag because we were under attack, that everybody was after us. And then now it's morphed into something different, but like, who wants to be the guy to stop it? Like I said, with the national anthem, like who wants to be the league to say, you know what, we're good, we're not going to do it anymore, forget it. But I do think that it shows that, you know, we still love our country, but I guess we're not as tested as we were back then.
It's just a little culty that our kids literally have to pledge their allegiance to their country every day. It's not a lot. It's a lot. It's aggressive. They're not doing that in Portugal. Or in Spain. You have to get up and pray to the flag.
I guess because you're proud to be an American. Is it that? It's not an awful thing to do.
Well, it's not awful.
No, it's just it's not.
When you stop and think about it, you're minding your own business at 7:25 in the morning, and everyone stands up and goes, "I pledge allegiance to the." When you isolate it, stop being used to it for a second and kind of isolate it. It's a weird act. If you were in some other world, you go, "What are you guys have to do this every day? Why?" We all are proud to be Americans. No?
But how do you stop it? I mean,
no, you can't.
But you just mentioned
I'm not
like one of your defenses were that we kind of like, you know, drone through it. Like maybe we shouldn't. You know, maybe we should pay attention to the lyrics of the anthem. Maybe when there's a Pledge of Allegiance, instead of just going through the motions and thinking this is ridiculous, I do this every day.
Yeah, but if you once you pay attention to it, you realize how people have different beliefs, and it still doesn't make sense. One nation under God. What if you don't believe in God?
Now you're getting into some really delicate territory.
The whole thing's delicate, though, and it's required for every child. We don't get here to work every day and go, we have to pledge allegiance to Disney.
I guess the reason it doesn't bother me is that...
Wait, do it?
Wait, here we go. We'll go there. You lead us here, and
that's what I do.
As well have an opinion as we get taken down.
I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying to get rid of it.
No,
I'm just saying it's weird.
But the reason I don't look at it as weird, and you just mentioned the whole idea of there's so many differences. Like the God thing, I'm not even going to touch. Okay, I just think that's just part of it. Is that even though we're all different, we're all looking at this is still all ours. That flag represents everything. Like that's what's so great about this country. We're not pledging allegiance to the Republican or the Democrat or the Independent or whatever. That with all of our differences, that everything that we can't stand about each other, that for that 1 minute we can all agree that we're all under that flag. And because that's what's so great about that flag is it represents, like in other countries, you don't have a choice. You go to prison if you disagree, right? That you are required to worship the dictator. You're required to worship the flag. You're not allowed to have another opinion. Isn't it cool that we can all get together, put our hand on our heart, sing that song, or pledge allegiance to a flag, knowing the guy next to you is a complete opposite belief in every way, shape, or form, yet we can agree for these 35 seconds looking at that flag?
Yes.
I think that's a cool thing.
It is a cool thing, but I'm just too... I have too many conspiracy theories in my brain to think it's not really about indoctrination. So if push comes to shove, the rich people will make us all go off to war and die. That's what I really...
But if you allow that to infiltrate, because that's what's wrong with this country, is we believe that we're all trying to convince everybody else. We've got to learn to get along.
I know. I hear you, Don. I just don't believe in the idea that anyone was doing that for the good of us. And I can't believe you would actually believe that. You think it was really so we could all love each other? But now we're in dreamland. I mean, I know we're in the candy shop.
But we get lost. But everything that happened in 1776 and everything that happened with that document shows that you're allowed. The reason that they left Britain to come here is that you're allowed the freedom of religion and the freedom of expression. And nobody goes to for all of the whack job opinions that people have out there. Nobody's going to jail for it.
No, it allowed for the people to sit there, like the kids I knew who wouldn't stand up, and I would always stand up and go, I don't want to stand up either, but I do it because it's what you're supposed to do.
Because we always had a kid in our class. He went through all of because I went to Lincoln School from kindergarten to 6th grade, and then I transferred to a Catholic school, 7th and 8th. There was a kid that was a Jehovah's Witness, and he didn't stand for it. And we're all like, what's going on? And then you learned it. But the cool thing, it made me learn about him.
Let's go to John, who wants to move on to the Pete Alonso of it all.
No,
John,
why would you want to do that?
Hey, John in Tom's River.
Hi, John.
Hi, guys. Hope your summer's going great. Just a couple Pete Alonso comments.
Okay.
I heard back about 2 months ago the Mets offered $300 million for Alonso. I don't know if there's any truth to it or not, but either way, the way he's played this year is just a cog in the Mets lineup. He's not a standout player. So I came up with a trade. This is before Rice got hot for the Yankees. Mets trading Brett Beatty and Alonso at the trade deadline for Spencer Jones. What do you guys think about that? And Don, one more thing before you hang up on me. Look at your pitching motion when you released in your high school picture. You look like Bartolo Colon with the motion. Just take a look at that, okay?
Okay. Well, you might listen. That was if you look at the getup, it was just practice. That wasn't my actual motion. Because I had the classic 80s sweatpants with the shorts over the sweatpants, Peter. I don't know if you've ever seen that picture.
Oh, yeah. I know.
But that wasn't really my form. That was just going through warm-ups. But I got my picture in the paper. But it didn't really, I think, do me justice. The Yankees are not going to make that move, even though because they've got Ben Rice. And I don't think the Yankees are a big fan of Pete Alonso either. See, for the reason the Mets don't want to give big money to Pete Alonso, I think is the exact reason why nobody else is going to give big money to Pete Alonso. And certainly the Yankees are not going to give up one of their top prospects for Pete Alonso, because I don't think they'd be interested in re-signing him either, Peter. Even before the whole Ben Rice thing, even before, when it looked like they were going to be in desperate need of a first baseman moving forward, that I don't think that Pete fits into the analytic world. But
you may be right. He's one of those guys who's right in between it all. Like, pretty good here, pretty good there. In this version, may not be your guy.
So in my parallel with Saquon Barkley, it kind of is the same thing where we don't pay running backs, we don't pay the Pete Alonso type that doesn't fit into the analytical world. So that's why I don't think he's going to get the money that he wants. But maybe there's a team that says, you know what, I don't care about analytics. The guy's going to hit 35 home runs, drive in 90-plus RBIs. I want that guy on my team. But he's not a great defender, doesn't spend a ton of time on base, and he's not having that great of a year. I don't think he's going to get the money that Scott Boras thinks he's going to get. But at the same time, I do think that there's a place for him. You're telling me nobody's going to...
No, I would think so, too.
But I just think the price tag is probably going to end up being a lot lower.
Greg in Smithtown. What up, Greg?
Hey, guys. Hey, Peter. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. I wanted to weigh in on the Pete Alonso. I'm a actual Yankee fan myself, but a bunch of buddies, Met fans. And the sentiment coming from them is that originally when Cohen took over, it was money is no object. We finally have an owner in place that's willing to spend the money regardless to keep good players, great players, whatever. So now the conversation seems to have been turned to, does Stearns want him as the guy that fits in to what they're trying to do? But is Cohen making those decisions, or is it the alternative now? And it just seems like that message to the Met fan base was money is not really an object. So are the Mets kind of just metting right now? And it just seems like they're going down that path of what is it? Who's in charge of making those decisions?
I wouldn't say metting in a pejorative term, because it still could turn out to be good, because you don't want a guy to just throw good money after bad. You want to make sure you make the right decisions. That's why Stearns is there, because I think he is going to turn this thing around. I do believe it that he is a good president. He's going to figure it out, but he will work within a budget. Is Steve Cohen going to say, hey, I'm willing to pay extra for this guy? Like, if you're willing to pay Pete Alonso $25 million to be your first baseman, then Steve Cohen should be able to go, well, you know what? I'm willing to give him 35 because I'm Steve Cohen. I hope that's the case, but I would think it's his money, it's his team, but it'll be interesting to see at the end of the day who actually is in control. Because with the Giants, it looks like Shane is in control. And I think that's a good thing, because unfortunately we followed, God love him, we followed John Mara's heart, and it led to some really bad seasons, some awful decisions.
Right, you appreciated where his heart was, but
I'm hoping if it means, hey, listen, it's my money, I'm willing to pay the extra $5 million, even if it means that Stearns is going to go throw up in his mouth. I don't care. I'm willing to spend that extra. I hope that at the end of the day that Steve does have that final say to be able to do that if he wants to.
Don, that is Diamond Notes, and it was brought to you by our dearest of friends. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the Mall at Short Hills. And it was also driven by Honda. You deserve a car that thrills you, and Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store at nissanusa.com today. More of your phone calls and much more, probably no more on the Pledge of Allegiance or National Anthem, but many other things to get into right here on 98.7 ESPN New York, and yes.
Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest.
Never read a line of poetry, I'm not a poet, but I sit up in the back of my buttons cause I'm fresh. Never read a book on how to rip it, I just know it, I don't need your explanation cause I'm better than the rest. Better than the rest. Better than the rest. Let me take you for a ride. I can make you feel alive.
And everyone you care for. It takes MSK.
Do you want to close out?
Should I? Normally I'd hold, but taking the gains is smart here. Right?
Feel more confident with stock ratings from JP Morgan analysts in the Chase app. When you've got a decision to make, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
They say, Lauren, what's the secret to a long, sustained relationship?
It's Blue Chew.
Blue Chews.
Blue Chew? Blue Chew. Blue Chew? Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online subscription-based service that sends these affordable tablets directly to your home. No one even has to know.
It's so easy to get your windshield replaced using SafeLight. Tell the people why you haven't done it. Started off as a chip, and it just keeps going. So what do we do now? I've scheduled an appointment at SafeLight.com.
SafeLight Repair. SafeLight Replace.
Yes!
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
Big season. More reasons to say yes.
Wow.
Yes to the ultimate viewing experience.
Aaron Judge crushes one. What a win for the Yankees.
The Yes app. Download now.
Soto keeps doing it. A monster blast by Aaron Judge.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Homes for Our Troops built this house, and it's basically made for him. My dad can get through the wide doorways. When he is making our lunch, he can reach anything we need. He'll help me build tiny projects. Life is good here. Without Homes for Our Troops, we'd be living in a home that didn't have all these features that helped him.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives.
If they get a new house like this one, it'll help them do normal life. My dad's not just a hero, he's my hero.
Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Popeyes has the best of both wings. Our juicy chicken is marinated to perfection with 2 distinct twists on all 6 flavors. Whether you prefer our spicy bone-in wings or our classic tender white meat boneless wings, we've got the best of both.
Michelin innovates once more with Michelin acoustic technology, reducing cabin noise by cushioning road vibrations. Michelin, motion for life.
Ooh, it's prom day? With all these deals, I could be more than Megan Thee Stallion. I could be Megan the... It's prime. Sign up to be a member if you want free shit. It's prime day. Yeah, start clicking.
Top dog with a new pass. You played the game, but I be too fast. Move out the way, I'm on a flight path.
Don't let a clogged gutter rain on your parade. Protect your home with Leaf Guard, the only one-piece seamless gutter system guaranteed to never clog, no matter the weather. Never clean your gutters again with LeafGuard. LeafGuard's patented seamless design keeps leaves, pests, and sediment out while directing water away from your home, preventing wood rot and foundation decay, giving you peace of mind that your home and family are protected from water damage with the industry's premier maintenance-free gutter system. LeafGuard is the smartest solution in gutter protection, proudly protecting your home by getting it right the first time for a lifetime. From manufacturing to installation, LeafGuard handles the entire process from start to finish. Invest in your home with a company you can trust. Call 888-6LeafGuard right now for a free estimate and save 20% plus $500 off your purchase and installation. LeafGuard, get it today, protected for life.
It's going to feel like home. It's going to be electric.
This is the Yankees flexing their muscles.
He has the right demeanor.
The expectation is to win a championship.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Crashing down and it hurts inside.
Is this a wrestling thing?
Oh, yeah, it's Hulk Hogan's theme song. It's Derringer.
I was going to say, if this was a song that was in The Mannequin, I would have believed. Like, this is so 80s, this song.
It's the definition of the 80s. It's Hulk Hogan's theme song. It originally was not Hulk Hogan's song. It was originally the U.S. Express, and then it was moved to Hulk Hogan's theme song. But I like the choice there from Jacob. It's a good job by you. Peter and Don on the K Show on 98.7 ESPN New York on a just filthy hot day.
Yeah, and in all
filth
seriousness,
outside.
if you're older or you have certain conditions, stay inside, man, because it is really, really oppressive out there.
It's not what you want.
I'd still take it over a snowstorm or it being like 0 degrees, but it is a case of like I'm going to get home tonight, have dinner, and then Marco's going to say, let's go outside and play wiffle ball.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to say? You probably shouldn't do long.
Yeah, just for a little while. But these kids have like the energy, and they don't feel anything, man. They just go out there and they play. But for me, 56 years old, like, oh my God,
there used to be no weather that would slow me down when it came to sports. Football in the coldest weather, basketball in a t-shirt in the coldest weather. Hot, absolutely not an issue. You get older, it's a little different. I'll say this.
My dad, Marco's got my dad's DNA. On a day like this, my dad would grab the lawn chair, sit out front, get a beverage, and just sit there. He loved it. He loved this heat.
Was he sitting? Was he getting sun or just sitting outside?
He just loved to sit outside and luxuriate in the heat. He loved it. They were gonna.
Did he go
before
to
he got
ever?
sick? They had put a down payment. They were gonna move down to Florida. He loved the humidity. Like, of course, a lot of people retire to Florida. That's not a big thing.
Yeah, that's not.
But he wanted to go to he wanted to be where. I think it was like Sarasota. He wanted to sit right in the humidity.
So he liked sitting in his own filth.
I don't think he thought of it that way. But he just likes it hot. And my mom, she's dying. She wants it to snow every day. She wants it to be habitually 25 degrees.
By the way,
but opposite to attract.
I was going to say, could either of them find some middle ground here? Come on. There are a lot of things you can talk about. The fact of the matter is, it gets no better than here's the best weather in the world. Lows at night. You telling me the lows at night are in the low 60s, and the high during the day it gets up to 83, 84. That's a day. To me, I'll take that every day of the year. That's why people move to California. I mean, there's a reason to Southern California, I should say. That's to me where the 70s is just.
But you
can't beat the 70s.
The humidity, it can get to 90, but if it's not, it's the humidity that's killing it.
It is true.
It's 93, but it feels like 107. That's a problem.
Although sometimes people do overstate, like Summer League's happening in Vegas right now for the NBA. And sometimes people will overstate the humidity thing when it comes to Vegas. They'll be like, oh, it's 117, but don't worry, there's no humidity. I got news.
No, there is a temperature. It's called an oven. You know, there is a temperature.
Right.
You know, the humidity's not cooking the food. I mean, at some point, you get to a temperature that this is really, if it's 120, you know what? It's
120.
It's hot.
Let's. Mike says they're not doing the pledge every day anymore. Mike, they're not doing the pledge every day anymore?
I have worked in 3 different school districts in my 20-year career, and we haven't done the pledge at any of them. I'm a high school teacher, so I know it's probably different at elementary schools and stuff. But in my career, we have not been saying the pledge every day. No.
Okay.
Really? No pledge?
I think the every day it's been gone for a while.
Really? Anthony, do you have the pledge every day?
Never in high school.
What?
I think he's right. After junior high.
Well, you know what? I take back everything I said. You guys are a bunch of communists. What about you, Jacob?
First 8 years of private school, and then after that, I went to public school and never had to do it again.
What? You know what? That's the problem with these kids today. You don't know what it's like to have to stand up when you're a junior in high school, and you really don't feel like standing up to do the pledge anymore, but you still get up to do the damn pledge. We did it every day. You did it too, right?
Oh, yeah.
The pledge carried through all the way through high school, till the bitter end. Oh, yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United
States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's probably been 40 years since I've done it, and I still know it.
God grant us the serenity to accept the thing. Okay, sorry, it's a different thing. No, it's... I haven't said the full pledge, Don, I think since high school. I mean, I'm sure I've said it one other... I never say it.
Sorry, man, you cut out.
That's how built in it is. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy because they used to make us do the Pledge of Allegiance and the Star Spangled Banner back to back. The school I went to, they wanted you to practice it, know every word, and then
Star Spangled Banner.
Yep, everything.
Can you see the early light? Okay, I'm done.
The end, Griffin's end there is really something special. Man, I'll tell you what, if you didn't hear me and Dave earlier, boy, did you miss out. And there's no podcast for it. It's gone, Don.
And then I have, the idea is, we're trying to reset your preset.
Right, back to 1050. Hold on, you said reset your preset, right?
That's right.
Hold on.
So while you're searching for it, I am going to do one with Dave on Tuesday, the 23rd, from 10 to noon.
That's next Tuesday.
That's right.
That's the Peter Rosenberg
a week
Day.
from today.
Peter Rosenberg Day, as it's known.
Yay!
My birthday.
Yes.
I'll be 45. The best number, not a better number than 45, except 47, even better. That's not true. All right, here's what you do, guys. Reset your preset with ESPN New York. Show us you're listening by uploading a photo of a device playing the ESPN New York app for a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience to with your favorite ESPN New York host. Head to the contest tile on the ESPN New York app to enter. I just re-updated the ESPN New York app on my phone today. This week's giveaway is a visit to the ESPN New York studio to visit Bart and Hahn on Wednesday, August 28th.
And Bart puts on a show.
Yeah. You'll even have a chance to join them on the air. Keep it locked all summer long for more great experience. I love Bart Scott. Can't wait. None of us can wait. I'll tell you what, though, me and Dave, we brought... I really do. I'm putting down the gauntlet for someone to do a better show than me and Dave did. Don't think it'll happen.
Oh, by the way, just an update on July 27th, the Sasso softball.
Hold on. Who'd you get? Let me write it down.
Peter Rosenberg.
Maybe.
Because we found out that the town that he's going to is next to Hawthorne, Glen Rock. In case you missed it yesterday, we confirmed that. So
it's very likely now. Yeah, now it's kind of expected I have to go.
Yeah, but just make an appearance. Just wave to the crowd.
Now listen, maybe I'll be...
We'll usher you in and out quick.
Maybe that's what she said. Maybe I'll be hammered. I'm having a birthday barbecue at Ballard's place beforehand.
So okay, what time is the barbecue?
We haven't really set the time yet, but it'll be during the day. It's like a pool hangout, you know.
Yeah, so 5 o'clock could be a little tough.
No, but it could be a good time, no? Like if I start at let's say I start the real festive around 1 o'clock. It might be that by the time I get to 4:30.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, listen, Peter's penciled in, and we've got Tommy Dreamer.
Oh, I love Tommy.
Bart Scott.
I
Ben
love
Danico,
Bart.
Brian O'Halloran from Clerks, Greg Buttle, Marty Lyons, all going to be there. Maria Moreno, she'll be making another appearance for a second.
I love Maria Moreno.
So
big fan.
Swing by Dan Grosso. My brother David LaGreca is going to be there. as a 53-year-old for the first time. So 5 o'clock, Wagfield, Hawthorne, New Jersey, Saturday, July 27th. I got to throw it out there.
There's nothing like the Sasso softball
It's
experience.
something. I enjoy it.
It's a great time every time, isn't it? We see a lot of the same people who come out every year. Wonderful families. The people, they come to spend time. Let's take some phone calls. So many people with so much to say. Like the Griffster. Griff, you did a great job with the national anthem earlier.
You know what? You know, Anthony, I really love him, but he didn't need to do the music to make me do it. Like, Anthony, now you're starting to fall down my pyramid here, Anthony.
I'm sorry, Griff.
He's tumbling down the pyramid.
Can you see lead light? Okay, I'm done.
What I don't understand, Griff, is all of the Capital, Heat, Yankee, Yukon games you've seen and attended. Did you still struggle with the words?
I don't know. I don't have them in heart.
Okay.
If I go into every UConn game that I go to, God, they play it every single day. So yeah, I would. You would think I would know.
You want to try again?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, we're giving you a rare opportunity to redeem yourself.
I bet Ingrid Andres, she wants another one.
Well, I hope she does, and I hope she gets the help that she needs before. I want to talk about the home run derby yesterday.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I don't know if it was the format that is the reason I didn't like it. Did the format change the reason I didn't like it? Because I kind of got off of it. I was into watching the Portland Trailblazers, Don's team, in Summer League because Donovan Clingan plays for Portland, and, I'm a UConn fan, so I was seeing what he was doing over the home run derby. So I don't know if it was they didn't have the names, they didn't have the format, but it just didn't feel like it normally feels. Yeah. I don't know if it's the new format or the people that weren't there because
that I think is part of it, right? And this is always what hurt the slam dunk competition is you've got Aaron Judge, one of the most prolific home run hitters of our generation, not participating in it.
Hey, Ron.
Shohei Ohtani, who is a unicorn, not doing it. Juan Soto, who's got over 22 home runs and not playing it. Bryce, so that's what hurts it. I think it's all about star power, right? And there were stars, there were nice players there, and Pete Alonso's won it a couple of times. But if you don't have the guy that's leading the league in home runs, and you don't have those kind of star power guys, that's going to affect your enjoyment of the moment.
And some of the people like Gunnar Henderson is normally of a Gunnar. He can hit home runs, but he's not going to go up there and try for a home run. So that's the problem. He's more of a line drive hitter. So that's the other thing. You didn't have many people that tried for home runs, and when you're in a home run derby, you got to try for a home run.
Well, they're trying for them in the derby, but it's not there. It doesn't come to them organically.
Okay, yeah.
But one of the complaints I heard is that narrow it down, and you want to see a lot of times what I always got upset with, and I don't know if this was the case last night. You want to see where the home run goes. It just seems like you're trying to do it so fast. You can't even enjoy the home run. I don't know. It's not my thing. It's never been my thing. There's no way that they can fix it to make it my thing. There are people that probably love it. They like it, whatever. But I'm hearing more complaints than not. But it's not going away. What else is going to go on, right? You have something. You got the game tonight, which, again, that doesn't do it for me anymore either. You want to get back to what really you love about sports, Peter, and that's the competition, your team. Both the Mets and the Yankees are in a pennant race. They're playoff teams right now. You want to get back to that. This is all just kind of yo-yo. They got to take the day off anyway, so do something. But, God, the complaining about the home run, it's almost like the national anthem, right? No league wants to tap out on it. They want to do something. Football at least gave up on the Pro Bowl because nobody wanted to do it, but they still feel like we got to have a flag football. We got to do something, right? So they're never going to completely give up on it. So you're going to have to live with it. Watch on your own peril. I didn't even see the rating for it. I don't know if that came out yet, Anthony. Maybe we can find that from our friends over at Sports Watch to see if people watched it last night.
I doubt it got a big number.
But, it probably got a bigger number than you think because what is it going up against? Right? There was the Liberty we're playing, but you don't really have a chance to...
You have the RNC.
But from a sports... If you're like a sports fan Is that something?
No,
that,
from a sports standpoint, it was not a huge night yesterday. I'm trying to think if how I could do on the. Oh, say can. Where do I struggle to try? Don, what note do you lose it on the national anthem? It is a hard song.
Very difficult song.
Oh, say can you see by the
that's
dawn's
That's it. Bye. Like
yeah. By the dawn's early light. Is it What So Proudly?
Yes.
What so proudly we hailed
at the twilight.
At the twilight's last gleaming. Who's brought stars and stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights.
This
Hard
isn't
part.
bad.
Or the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
This is a tough part. And the Rockets.
And the Rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Baltimore. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free.
That's good.
And the home of the brave.
That was good. You know what?
I think I beat Ingrid.
But if you were in front of
you got to know your
50,000
range.
people,
but you know the key right there to not making it awful was simply I didn't do anything good. If you try to do something good,
right,
you run into trouble. You got to stay beneath the bar.
But if you were standing there by yourself with a microphone, singing in front of 50,000 people, she's
a professional.
But that little area where you weren't sure of the words, then you would have completely derailed. You would have melted down.
Do we think she struggled on the words? I thought it was just how horrible she sounded. Did she get words wrong too?
No, I just think that the whole pacing was. I think she was just a mess.
You know, if you guys haven't heard earlier, by the way, Don's review of last night's anthem.
You soiled yourself. Chocolate soft serve in your pants.
That was not.
Don, talk to me if you can as we move forward here on a very special, a very special edition. Talk to us about cars.
Get more. I love my fruit to the root. I love my fruit, they a wonderful treat. I love my fruit, they so juicy and sweet. I love my fruit, every flavor and taste. I love my fruit, every color and shape. I love my fruit to the root. Fruits in my smoothies, mango so groovy. Melons and limes, sometimes I get choosy. Bananas for breakfast, blueberries for brunch, pineapples for dinner, fruit salad for lunch. Even though oranges don't rhyme, they don't. I'm still gonna eat them, they mine. I love my fruit, every flavor and taste. I love my fruit, every color and shape.
Medicine delivered through Yale New Haven Health's Heart and Vascular Center.
You want to go again?
Together, we're powering breakthroughs with the greatest of care.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better, even this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
Big season. More reasons to say yes. Wow. Yes to the ultimate viewing experience.
Aaron Judge crushes one.
Yes to in-game live stats. And earn rewards and win prizes. Get all the Yankees action on the Yes app. Download now.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Dive into cool summer savings with a new HVAC system from AJ Perry. With payments as low as $132 a month and up to $3,200 in tax credits, now's the perfect time to upgrade. Call 844-668-7555 for a free consultation today.
It's so easy to get your windshield replaced using SafeLight. Tell the people why you haven't done it. Started off as a chip, and it just keeps going. So what do we do now? I've scheduled an appointment at SafeLight.com.
SafeLight Repair.
SafeLight Replace.
Yes!
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
The 3 for Me only at Chili's is now available with the all-new Big Smasher Burger, piled up high with nearly half a pound of beef. Or you could settle for just some other burger at a drive-thru. Anyway, gonna need some room, because the 3 for Me still fills up the table with the bottomless drink, all the famous Chili's chips and salsa you can eat, and is still the best deal around at just $10.99. See you later, tiny drive-thru burger. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
I knew that something was different. I knew it, I called it, and look what I found today.
It's Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew? Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. The Holy Grail. This is the secret. If you don't know, now you know. You can get it on a subscription model, so men can get delivered every month. And for the ladies, let your man know, and you're welcome in advance.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Show on ESPN New York. You know, I didn't have on my bingo card when we did our wedding invitations. I did not have Amber Rose, one of the main speakers on the first night of the Republican National Convention. It was not on my bingo card.
Did you think, did anybody have on a bingo card that somebody that attended Peter Rosenberg's wedding would be there?
Well, would be there or would be speaking there, or either one?
Well, speaking.
Because you don't know where I stand politically. But it was not expected, Don.
No.
At the time.
Didn't see that happen.
At the time. Although I will say I heard from a couple of people who spent some time with her at the wedding that the conversations they had with her maybe made it seem like it wasn't as far off as I would have realized.
So they wouldn't be as surprised?
Not at that point.
Okay. That was a year ago.
Because there was a scene, you know, there was a hangout scene upstairs. There was a smoking area.
Right.
I didn't get to go. That is one of the real regrets I have for the wedding.
That you didn't go and partake in a nice cigar or something?
Yeah, I mean, that no one said, hey, there's a smoking area upstairs. Come outside for a minute and just see what the vibe's like, because it's your wedding. And like other people were doing. There were other people going back and forth all night. Anthony, you didn't go upstairs outside, did you?
No, not after we went in.
Yeah, because you know what it was? So it was the same area we were already at.
So that's where the cocktail hour. Okay.
Yeah, I think people were going back up there, but at that point the temperature had gotten cooler and people were partaking.
I mean, it was very warm when the cocktail hour was happening, and very nice inside.
Yes, yeah.
Not like you didn't have any room in there. It's very spacious.
Thank you. I also, Dave and I cleared the air about the late wedding invite today. You know, I told him, he asked me seriously. He said, do you have any regrets that I wasn't on the initial invite list? And I said, honestly, yes.
Oh,
I do.
And
he said, and then he said, you know what? Let's put it to bed.
Aw.
Yeah. That's just rude. That's how I felt looking back at myself. It was a mistake. A lot of people from the station, big mistake. I have some serious regrets.
Any, without mentioning names, any regrets of people you invited that you wish you didn't?
Yes. Okay. I'll name some names.
Okay.
He named me, Don, during the show. It was very, I didn't like it. It was very upsetting.
Did I say that?
No, you didn't.
I didn't think that, but I would have believed myself. I'm capable of saying anything. Well, I had two bosses who worked at Hot 97. Mm-hmm. Notice I just added a D when I said the word work.
Right.
It's past tense.
Right. They're no longer there.
One of them left Hot, I'm not kidding, a week and a half after my wedding. He texted me and he's like, hey, bud, just want to let you know I'm leaving the station. I was like, couldn't you just tell me? Can you just not come? Didn't you know realistically, as much as we're friendly, we didn't need the wedding here to.
That is somebody who thought that they were being invited because you're friends with them, not because you worked with them. Because otherwise they would have given you the heads up, but they probably didn't think they had to because they thought they would have been invited anyway.
Well, they'd be wrong.
Okay, well now that's been established, but it's
not because I don't. Not because I don't like them. I do.
No, but you got to draw the line somewhere because not everybody. This is a wedding. When I say, like, I'll give examples of how close I am to somebody by saying they were at my wedding.
I know, and that's the thing. I don't like that. Like people like Dave Rothenberg, people like Chris Carlin and Alan Hahn. I don't like that they weren't there. You know,
right? But you got to draw the line someplace. You know a lot of people. You work with a lot of people. But you want to have the closest people, so there's going to be people that don't make the cut. And, you know, I always feel bad because maybe in short order, like Ryan Hurley, for example. I knew Ryan. I didn't invite him to my wedding. That did not age well because rapidly after I got married in 05, we came very, very close. If I got married in 06, he definitely would have been invited, but at that particular time, so it's like odd that he wasn't there, but I had no idea. I couldn't look into the future to see how close we would end up becoming. You got to draw the line someplace. And just as there's some people that were invited that kind of fell off.
The line got drawn on me at Brownshire's wedding. I didn't get invited.
And you understood. You weren't a baby about it.
No, but I didn't. But then he didn't make the first cut of my wedding either. And I feel I would have liked to invite Brownshire too. I'm a fan of Brownshire. Consider him a dear.
Listen, over the last year, things have changed.
That's not. It's
right. I mean, the year is not nothing.
No, but even then, I knew the right thing to do, and I'm upset with myself.
It's also it wasn't all up to you. You had your wife and people she wanted to invite. You got to think of them.
I want to play something for you, Don.
Please.
Adam Schefter was on Pat McAfee. And he thinks that the Giants could regret this Hard Knocks situation.
I can't imagine that the Giants are thrilled to be airing all their private opinions publicly. Like, again, just one statement about Daniel Jones is now going to shadow him the entire year. Like, hey, either we find out we've got our quarterback for the next 10 years or we pivot off him. So you think as if playing New York Giants quarterback isn't a pressure-packed enough job already. You know, now you throw in some of these statements, which everybody kind of knows he's under the gun and he's got to step up and perform. But to hear the general manager actually say that on air is another thing. And to hear those conversations, how fired up do you think Saquon Barkley is going to be when they play the first game against the Giants? The Giants felt like they didn't want to hand off to a $12 million running back when they had a $40 million quarterback, but the Eagles have a $50 million quarterback, and they're going to hand it off for a $12 million running back.
No, they're paying him more than $12 million, though, Adam. That's the difference. They believe that he's worth more than that. I've got comments on this that I will save for the 5 o'clock hour. How about that?
Really?
How about that?
Because we also want to get into some Jets, Aaron Rodgers, some Jet expectations.
We got a full hour before we get to an Anthony Pusick letting it in. A full hour.
So strap in, suit up, stand back, and stand by We're going to do that all in the next hour. Right now, though, Don is going to talk to us about Mazda.
Mom? Yeah? I think we're out of toilet paper.
Oh, no.
Mom, we need more chips, Mom.
More chips, please.
More chips to be cute.
Chicken, a lot of chicken. Chicken on that plate. Chicken coming up, Chef.
Okay, hon, I'm gonna need a lot of chicken.
What's with the accent?
Just trying something new.
When you feel like everyone needs a little bit of everything,
I'll handle it.
Shop BJ's Wholesale Club on Instacart. Same-day delivery in as fast as 1 hour. So whatever the needs may be, you got it covered. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first order.
Family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow tea to be a moment just for you. That's what I hope for.
Stay straight for the next 200 miles.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
People call me Marina. I'm seeking a life-saving kidney. I want to pursue a dream of owning my own farm. I want to live for my granddaughters. They think that I'm the greatest person on earth. They really do. I want to live for my mom, Joyce, aka Mommy. I want to live for my kids. I think they'll need me forever. My name is Marina Jordan, and I want to live.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay, and how fast you can get started.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too.
That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? I don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way?
Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really? Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
Michelin innovates once more with Michelin acoustic technology, reducing cabin noise by cushioning road vibrations. Michelin, motion for life.
Popeyes has the best of both wings. Our juicy chicken is marinated to perfection with 2 distinct twists on all 6 flavors. Whether you prefer our spicy bone-in wings or our classic tender white meat boneless wings, we've got the best of both.
This is a keepsake frame. This is actually a photo from my wedding. I'm Adam Weiss, founder and CEO of Keepsake, the mobile app that makes it easy to have your photos printed, framed, and shipped to your doorstep. You just choose a photo that you love, you can preview it in over 100 frames, and in a couple of days, you're gonna receive your photo in a beautiful, handmade frame. So if you've got a special photo on your phone, install the free Keepsake app. We would love a chance to frame it for you.
When disaster strikes, no matter where and when, cash is best. Those in crisis are able to decide where that money goes. It's easily exchanged and received across borders, and nobody knows the needs of a community in crisis better than the people within it. With cash, help goes exactly where it's needed, when it's needed. Ultimately, cash creates choice. And when it comes to what we should send to communities in need, our choice is simple.
is Peter. It's the K Show on ESPN New York.
Right.
Or maybe you're watching us on the Yes Network. Now, we have a lot to get into this hour, and you wanted to respond to Adam Schefter's concern.
Yeah, I think we should replay the audio for people that are joining us here after the break about what Adam Schefter said.
Here ye's go.
Let's hear it.
I can't imagine that the Giants are thrilled to be airing all their private opinions publicly. Like, again, just one statement about Daniel Jones is now going to shadow him the entire year. Like, hey, either we find out we've got our quarterback for the next 10 years or we pivot off him. So you think as if playing New York Giants quarterback isn't a pressure-packed enough job already, now you throw in some of these statements, which everybody kind of knows he's under the gun and he's got to step up and perform. But to hear the general manager actually say that on air is another thing. And to hear those conversations, how fired up do you think Saquon Barkley is going to be when they play the first game against the Giants? The Giants felt like they didn't want to hand off to a $12 million running back when they had a $40 million quarterback, but the Eagles have a $50 million quarterback, and they're going to hand it off to a $12 million running back.
All right, there's just so many holes in what Adam said. It's borders embarrassment. First of all, they're not handing off to a $12 million running back. They're holding with like a $16 million running back because they gave him more money. All right. Also, the Giants had editorial control. So why would they feel a way about this stuff being aired? They cleared it. They've got no problem with it. So I'm thinking it sounded like it was strategic to me. Now, the Saquon stuff, listen, Saquon's a good kid, all right? But he probably was in a way about the Giants not offering him as much money as Philadelphia. He was going to be motivated to play regardless. If you follow him on social media, when anybody has kind of reacted to Saquon being a traitor for signing with the Eagles, he's responded about how motivated he is. So he doesn't need to watch Hard Knocks to be motivated the two times that the Giants play the Giants play the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, Daniel Jones? Like, come on, he even admitted it when he said it, Adam. Everybody knows the situation. He is in year 2 of a 4-year contract, but in essence, it's the last year of the contract because the Giants have an out. He knows he has to perform. He's coming off a terrible season when he was healthy, and he also was not healthy that derailed the rest of his season. The Giants are not committed to them. Everybody knew that they tried to draft a quarterback and couldn't in the draft. So I don't think Daniel Jones needed to watch Hard Knocks to know how big a season is this for him. And nobody that follows the Giants or follows New York football needed to watch Hard Knocks to know how the Giants feel about Daniel Jones and how much he needs to impress everyone in 2024 in order to stay the Giants quarterback. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. If the Giants have editorial control, Peter, then why should they be in a way about this being aired? They wanted it to be aired.
But does that mean that he's wrong, that it could have an adverse effect? Maybe they got it wrong. Maybe they did think it was fine to air.
But what adverse effect did what? If Daniel Jones is going to fold because of what was said on Hard Knocks, he was going to fold no matter what, that he's not the right quarterback, and then thank God we have an out at the end of the season.
And Saquon's going to be motivated against them no matter what.
Of course he is. Of course he is. He's going to get booed at Giants Stadium or MetLife Stadium, and he's going to be motivated. Come on. What do we just say stuff? I mean, listen, I like Adam. He's outstanding at what he does. But, I mean, come on. There has to be a level of accountability of what you're saying. If the Giants have editorial control on that, then why would they feel a way about it being aired? They wanted that to be aired. They want to put a spur in the saddle of what's going on with Daniel Jones to try to get him to play at optimum level. And as far as the insult, I'm not going to pay have a $40 million quarterback, which is what he's making, hand off to a $12 million running back. That was their offer, and he wasn't going to take it. And he's making more money in Philadelphia, so that's not the proper analogy. It's a $50 million quarterback handing off to a $16 million running back or whatever he's making, way more than $12 million. So come on, man. The Giants wanted that out there because they want to get Daniel Jones motivated. And if he's going to fold because of something that airs on HBO on a Tuesday, then he's not the right guy anyway. And you really think Saquon Barkley needs any extra motivation? The Giants did not want him. He signed with the division rival. He's going to be fired up. Come on, man.
Well, Schefter said more. Let's hear.
It's one thing to have Hard Knocks when it's about the roster spot for the 6th wide receiver job, or, guys practicing during camp in the heat and some of the jokes and pranks that go on during. It's another thing when you're hearing the actual decision makers, the actual words of the decisions, and I promise you we're going to hear about that throughout the course of the season. These teams are not thrilled to do Hard Knocks in the summer. And frankly, I don't know how they got the Giants to do it in the offseason. Good for them and good for the Giants. I respect everybody. We love to hear it all. But I'm just telling you, we're going to hear a lot about those comments all summer into the season.
Well, they got the Giants to do it because they had editorial control. So anything that got out, the Giants wanted it out or didn't care that it was out. So it's not a big deal. Honestly, why do we care about Daniel Jones' emotions? Get him upset. Get him ticked off. I want Daniel Jones to take the field, and I want him to hate play well. Well, I want him to be motivated and look at Brian Dable and look at Joe Shane and try to stick it to them by going out there and balling out. I want that as a Giant fan. I hope he's insulted. So what's the big deal? What? So that the fourth announcer on Fox can say before the game, before the season, say Joe Shane had negative things to say about his quarterback during Hard Knocks on HBO, as if we don't know, because we get talked to like we're children by NFL broadcasts, because they're all national and they actually air the Giant Bear game that's going to be seen by 4% of the country, as if we've never seen the Giants before. Give me a bro. That's going to be thrown back in his face. By who? It's already thrown in his face every day by the people that cover the team.
Well, and he lived through it. He knew how he felt. He knew he wanted to be a Giant. He knew they weren't interested enough. That's what the whole thing was. Listen, I love Shefty. I love Shefty, but he was trying. He was trying to find something.
But again, he made statements, and I'm making statements. Let's deal.
I like what you're saying.
Doesn't mean, again, we can't. So I understand he works for, and he's great. He's amazing at what he does. But I don't get what he's saying here. They had editorial control. So why would they be in a way about it? They want. So you don't think the Giants maybe strategically figured, hey, we're getting the word out. We didn't want Saquon Barkley. Everybody knew they didn't want Saquon Barkley. Didn't need to watch it on Hard Knocks. What has been the complaint about Hard Knocks, Peter? What's been the complaint? Well, tell me something I don't know. Right? Nobody feels like any of this stuff that's supposed to be news is really news to anybody that's following it. Now, maybe a Dolphin fan in Nebraska turns it on and go, ooh, I didn't realize the Giants didn't want Saquon Barkley. Okay, but anybody in New York that's followed it all summer, really for the last 2 years, going back to the franchise tag, going back to the deal that he turned down, they knew this. They knew Daniel Jones had an out at the end of this year. We know Daniel Jones hasn't lived up to expectations. We know that this is a make or break year for him. He's all of a sudden a light bulb's going to go off watching Hard Knocks. I bet you Daniel Jones probably didn't even turn it on.
Now let's flip to the other team here, Don.
God,
in New York. Are you familiar with the Jets?
Very familiar with their work.
Now, are you more interested in hearing about the Devontae? How possible the Devontae situation is?
Yeah, because I'm curious to see how we can make this work.
Well, let's hear from Dan O. That's Dan Orlovsky to you and me on Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I think Devontae Adams plays for the Jets this season. So the reason why I say that is this. Have you watched the receiver stuff? Have you seen it? Have you seen the frustration from Devontae Adams? It's not that much better of a situation. One, the only reason it wouldn't happen, Greeny, is if he would feel bad about leaving Antonio Pierce, their new head coach. That's the only reason.
Antonio will be fine. He'll be fine.
Okay, but the loyalty a competitor to a coach. One, the Raiders don't matter until they get a quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. So at some point, you got to try to go get a quarterback. Number two, if you're the Jets, why would you not? Cool. It's going to cost you a first. You haven't won a Super Bowl ever, or in like 50-something years or something like that.
Yeah,
you've already gone all in. You have to make this work. If you don't win the Super Bowl, this is going to be one of the more disappointing acquisitions and runs and wasted talented teams that we've seen in the NFL in many years. I think this is a done deal. At some point, Devontae Adams plays for the Jets this season.
How do I make that my ringtone? I don't know how to make a ringtone, but I want Dan saying that to be my ringtone.
Now,
believer?
Now, if they trade him, I think it's like a $25 million dead cap hit?
Well, Greeny went on to theorize how it could happen midseason.
The season is going to start, and Devontae Adams is going to be a Raider. But if we should get to mid-October and the Raiders are falling out of playoff contention, let's just live in a world where the Raiders are 2-5 or something like that. Davante Adams is a guy who makes a lot of money, and this is a team that is starting kind of from scratch. Could we be living in a world where they would entertain trading Davante Adams? Absolutely. We put that together with Aaron Rodgers saying the other day on the golf course, I look forward to playing with Davante again. You put those two together, and I say, I'm telling you right now, if everything kind of goes the way I could see it going, I could see Davante Adams on the Jets by Halloween.
All right, but
$25.3 million cap hit.
If they were to trade him in season, I think it's a $40 million cap hit if they do it now. So are the Raiders going to want to take a $25 million cap hit?
40.4 if they do it now. 25 if they do it later.
So, all right, so we get to the trade deadline, which is, what, around Halloween. Do they want to take a $25 million dead cap hit to make the deal to get, what, a first-round pick? Which isn't going to be a high pick because the Jets obviously would be finishing as a contender. So you're looking at a pick that's probably going to be lower than 25.
Probably.
All right. And then you got to take a $25 million. I just think that and then you heard Davante kind of talking about he liked to play with Aaron, but he's a Raider. I guess there's the possibility that it could happen, but I think there's a lot that you're going to have to give up a lot because of the dead cap space that the Raiders are going to have if they make the deal. And also, you're hoping, as Peter's mentioned many times, what's Aaron Rodgers' situation by the time we get there? And where are the Jets at that particular moment? You might not even need them. So all right, what week are we going to be in at the deadline? Probably what, week 7, 8? If the Jets are 4-4. No, the Raiders going to be like 0-8?
November 5th deadline. It's week 9.
So let's say they're 4-4. Well, that means the Raiders have to be worse than that if they're going to make the deal. And also, if you're 6-2, you might be like, well, why am I making it? If I'm 6-2 and I'm leading the division, do I want to have to do all that? And if you do it, okay, that might help you this year. You better win, otherwise you're digging yourself even a bigger hole in the future. So I think it's much ado about nothing. The fact that people are predicting that it's going to happen, I mean, that's still a big cap hit for the Raiders to make that deal. This isn't baseball where you make deals like that usually anyway. And again, if it's a first-round pick, Peter, is it going to be that high of a pick?
Don, I don't like that you're ruining the fun of let's just say it's going to happen. Even if you can't really figure out why it would happen. Except for that the Jets would like it to happen.
Well, Greeny wants it as his ringtone, so I guess I just...
You got to go with it.
I'll go with that. Yeah, I agree with everybody. It's going to happen.
And you know Rodgers wants it to happen, and I suppose there's a chance Davante wants it to happen. I think we all think that's possible. But what if the Raiders are playing well, and he loves Antonio Pierce, and the Raiders don't have incentive?
Why are we just all of a sudden assuming that the Raiders are going to be out of it?
And why?
I understand the conference is tough, and also you're trading him in conference. How do we know that the Raiders and Jets aren't going to be battling for the same real estate?
And you just assume the Raiders want to help out the Jets?
Well, I mean, I'm sure they would look to get picks if their season is lost. Do we know that the Raiders' season is going to be lost?
You don't.
I mean, Antonio Pierce might do a really good job there, having a full season to be their head coach. I think there's a lot of people that are hoping, because it would be great to see that, right? To see a quintessential wide receiver would become their best wide receiver, right? We're close to it, obviously, because they've got good wide receivers to begin with. I think there's a lot of hope there, more so than a reality. But the whole thing hinges on the Raiders being terrible by the time we get to November. So I guess if you're a Jet fan, root for the Raiders to be 0-8 and look at a dump. Because we heard the same thing, too, with Kirk Cousins, remember? Oh, the Vikings are going to fall out of it, and then they'll just trade for Kirk Cousins to save their season. Remember, that was the conversation last year. Wasn't that like a done deal? Oh, the Jets are going to trade for Kirk Cousins. Why would the Vikings keep Kirk Cousins? They're going to fall out of it.
That was a fun few weeks.
So what, doesn't it have that same kind of feel to it? Did that ever happen?
No, but it's a nice story for people to hang on to. And I do think the Jets could really use Davante Adams. I think. Let me ask you this: if it was on the table, you think he's worth the first-round pick?
Well, yeah, because the first-round pick is going to be late, and the Jets don't care about their future. I mean, it's all about the now.
Even if it was a good first-round pick.
But really, honestly, do you sit there and look at the Jets and say they're a weapon away from competing for a championship, or they're just hoping their quarterback stays healthy away from competing for a championship?
I would say this. I think they're a quarterback stays healthy and they can be a good team. I think, Don, you had one more piece. I mean, let's not forget here. Aaron Rodgers has only played in scrimmages with Garrett Wilson. We don't know if he has any chemistry with who he has. We know he has chemistry.
He did throw a touchdown to him in the preseason against the Giants, if you remember.
Oh, that
did happen.
I remember it. It was it really let me know what they were in store for.
Are we allowed to play their highlights now? Is that like banned? Because Bob had a great call of that.
Really? You remember it?
the brow of Anthony Pusick tells me we're not sure.
Yeah, I don't know how those rules work.
I'm guessing no.
No way. It was on our air.
It was on our air. I mean, so they take the history from us?
Oh, I thought you meant Papa.
What,
you meant Papa.
No.
What would we play?
No,
Papa's call?
No, he said Bob, but he meant... Oh, no.
Yeah, no, we could play the Jets call.
Yeah, but
well, there are two Bobs.
But why would he think
he's
want
Papa's
because
call?
why would we not be able to play Bob's call?
Because I don't know, because they're not on our air anymore, and that's I asked. I was expecting.
Yeah, but it was our property at the time.
I was expecting an answer in the affirmative, but then when I saw the look on your face, I'm like, oh, maybe
that's why I was confused. Now we're all.
No. By the way, that was some of the most justified confusion both ways that I've ever seen. Both make complete sense because he doesn't know why you'd ask the question. And
but why not?
Here we go.
High formation, Carter the I-back. Rodgers under center, drops back, lobs one, front left pylon. It is caught. Garrett Wilson adds a Jet touchdown. Aaron Rodgers slips a magical throw to Garrett Wilson, and the Jets are on the board.
Am I incorrect in remembering that touchdown? It didn't feel magical, did it?
No, Bob, it did. I mean, it's a preseason game. I can't imagine anything magical happening in the preseason.
How recent was the last Fish concert prior to that throw? Because he could still
he still had a contact eye?
He could still be feeling magical.
No, I just think, listen, everybody's excited about the Jets and the prospects of Wilson and Rodgers together.
But my point is, as much as that great, meaningful preseason touchdown was done, it would mean a lot if somehow Aaron Rodgers had one of his all-time favorite targets on this team. Devontae Adams would be worth a lot
I'm
to
not,
this
listen,
team.
I don't know what it would take. Say it's a first-round pick. Why would the Jets hold on to it? It's a late first-round pick. You're trying to make this work with Aaron Rodgers. Tomorrow's not guaranteed to anyone. By the way, we did get the ratings for the home run derby. You want to guess in the millions what we're looking at?
3.5 million.
No, actually better.
5 million.
Says ESPN, ESPN2, because they were on both, combined drew a 5.45 million viewers.
That's my jam.
Which is the event's lowest figure since 2014.
Oh.
And that one...
I don't know.
That one did 5.4, but also had an hour rain delay.
Wow.
But they're also going up against the Republican National Convention, which drew 8.6 million viewers combined on Fox, CNN, and MSNBC.
The RNC only did 8.6?
8.6.
I don't know.
I mean, there was a big moment.
I'm not impressed by that number, actually.
All right, well, what numbers are going to... Unless it's football. I think both of these events would have benefited from a football game breaking out during it. Because then the ratings would have been like 30 million.
Well, you would have thought, the reason I'd expect more from the RNC number is it was the first time Donald Trump was going to be publicly visible after the assassination attempt. That's why I would have thought maybe a bigger number. He didn't come on till later.
I don't know. I don't know what people are interested in anymore. It's a summertime. People go away. They're on vacation.
It's not a bad number, though, for the home run derby.
All I'm saying is for all people that want to see these things go away, like, why do they do it? I know that they're probably not happy that it's the lowest number in a decade. But still, to get 5.5 million people to watch your event is not awful.
Did you hear
on a day where nothing's going on? Believe me, there is not a baseball game that will air during the regular season on national television that will do that number.
No.
So why not do it?
Good point. I don't know if you guys missed the national anthem last night at the home run derby, but the Rockets. And the Rockets, red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
You know what? There will be people that'll poke fun. I've heard way worse.
I'm impressed by it. I'm impressed by myself.
I don't don't know.
Wait
a minute. That's not what. Yeah, no.
We have a lot more to do. We will get your calls next because we didn't talk to you on this segment right here. Your Jets and Giants thoughts coming up next, plus Point God 545, ENN 6 o'clock. It is the K Show on ESPN New York, and yes.
That's Aaron Judge. Yeah.
Sometimes you get the feeling you're watching a Hall of Famer right in the middle of his prime.
The captain is rolling.
They're going to need a longer tape measure.
A monster blast. See ya. Wow.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by a major food group with Carbone classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
Go behind the numbers with a brand new series on the Yes app.
17.
My first number in the big leagues.
1734. But
Daniel Boone.
Yeah, 31. Can you do that impression for us?
Dave Winfield's going to be a little something like this.
Gracie Cashman hosts a new Yes app series, The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Streaming now exclusively on the Yes app.
Damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
No service member who has put on a uniform and served our nation should be without a home and the services they need. I'm Dave Portnoy, and I'm asking for your help. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation promises to eradicate veteran homelessness across the country so that no service member who has served our nation will be without a home and the services they need. That's why I'm asking you to contribute $11 a month to support these efforts by going to T2T.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
I knew it. I thought something is different about my man.
It's Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew?
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew?
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. Blue Chew? You've done it again.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged. So you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Current qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $199 a month. Or well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR when you finance with GM Financial.
At Domino's, we know there's a lot of pressure to tip these days.
Great set, bro. Now take a look at this screen real quick.
Which is why we want to say,
thanks for the tip.
By tipping you back. Tip your driver $3 or more online and we'll tip you $3 to use on next week's order.
Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. This look at how the All-Star Game is shaping up is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. First, the starting pitchers for each club. It'll be Pirates rookie sensation Paul Skeens towing it up against the junior circuit, while the Orioles' Corbin Burns will get the call to be the first line of defense against the National League. Whose lineup looks like this to begin the game, which is full of Brewers, Phillies, and Dodgers, including Shohei Ohtani and Bryce Harper, who have combined for 50 home runs this season, and Christian Yelich, who is leading the National League in batting average at .326. Now, he would be leading the majors if it wasn't for the guy batting leadoff for the American League, and that is Stephen Kwan from Cleveland. He's got 20 more ABs than Yelich and is at .352. A pair of Yankees slugging outfielders will both potentially get a shot at Paul Skeens. Juan Soto quipped yesterday that he will definitely try to get Aaron Judge to face Skeens in that first inning, too.
Is going to live on for a very, very long time.
What was the other song he loved from a couple of years ago? Do you remember, Anthony?
I don't know.
There was a song Dave loved. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It was like, it went viral. It was like a big hit from like 3-4 years ago.
Give me some opinion on what's happening in the big city.
I can't think of it now. If I had it in my head, I just lost it.
A Baby Shark.
But that kind of vibe, though.
That's my jam.
Oh, it was like something about dancing.
Something about dancing. Mm-hmm.
Come on, help me out.
Oh, yeah,
guys.
You're narrowing it down. You're saying it's about dancing now.
But it was a big hit a few years ago. Don't make it seem like I'm not giving you some information. This was on the air.
I don't know.
I don't remember. It sounds familiar that Dave loved a song.
Dance with me. You know,
was it a Bruno Mars vehicle, maybe?
Who knows? I don't know who it was.
Dance with me.
Dance with me. Oh, yeah. You know.
No.
Anybody? Hello.
Why you can't get angry? You can't get angry that we don't remember. Was it this?
Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up. Don't you ever grow up.
Come on, Dave.
Stay this little.
Dave, if you're listening, call in, text me the song. You know what? Come on and dance with me.
Was it Dance Tonight by Lucy Pearl? I wanna dance tonight.
No. It was more of a rock
Was
song.
it Just Dance, Lady Gaga?
No, I know Lady Gaga.
That's a drop. Was it Dancing, Dancing,
No,
Dancing?
come on.
She's a dancing machine.
That's from 50 years ago. I can't believe I
want to dance with somebody.
Oh, it wasn't Whitney Houston. You don't think I know Whitney Houston?
With somebody.
Come on and dance with me.
Come on and dance with me.
Come on, somebody on social media. I make one mistake, I'll get 50 tweets. That's not what you're... I'm asking. Come on, and you're getting no help over there.
I don't know.
You're all doing work thinking you're forwarding the show. This would forward the show, leaving me hanging.
Let's go.
Yeah, shut up and dance with me. You know that awful song. But he's like he was in love with that song. You know, nobody remembers that. Well, you know what? Maybe you should pay attention to somebody that's the heart and soul of this radio station.
Well, let's talk. You know, speaking of heart and soul of the radio station, let's go to Richard Manhattan. Hey, Richard.
Hi, Don, Peter. Fellas, it's 50 years disco debuted. 50 years this summer.
Disco music?
Yeah, that was
disco,
the 1974. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, what do you mean? What does that mean? Hold on.
Late June.
Yeah. What was the song? It's going to bother me. That's going to bother me now. I go from one bothered song to the other. But there was a specific song. Is it Rock the Boat? Yeah. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. They considered that the first disco song.
Oh, that must have been. Sure. And
Richard, I'm going to let you finish. I know that you're the king of music.
No, it's just
but
not.
The look you gave me, like, that's a fact.
No, it's not at you. It's not at you. I believe you that that's what they say, but there's no way it's true.
No, it is true.
No.
Casey Kasem mentioned they did a whole thing on it.
No. It's probably true the same way they say that, Rapper's Delight is the first rap song, but there's always stuff that's predating the thing before it happens.
This is the one that everybody decided
was the first popular disco song.
Right.
Rock the Boat was that was
because there was a lot of popular like up tempo R&B at that time that was basically disco.
This one they seem to calculate
was the one. Who was it by?
Oh,
let me see. So you're saying if I Google the first disco song?
Yes, it'll come up.
And then you had Frankie Valli, swear to God, that was huge. That was also one. That was huge, big time. That was an anthem. Hey, fellas, Devontae Adams, maybe he'll be our Mikal Bridges. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. It'll cost you probably a lot more, but
wait, why? I don't understand.
Like maybe the final piece. I guess is that what you're saying, Richard?
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a
Nobody thought we'd get Mikal Bridges, just like nobody thinks we can get Devontae. Let's see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I thought you were going to use as an example of one that had already been successful. But I mean, I see what you're saying. Okay, what else you got, Richard?
All right, Jelly Bean Bryant. He was on that great Philly team in '83. He was on. They only won that one championship, but they were great.
By the way, what Richard is referring to is the fact that Kobe's dad, the great Jelly Bean Bryant, passed away at 69 years old. Right.
69. Yeah. It's ironic. A month ago, Jerry West died, and they both had Jelly Bean Bryant and Jerry West one NBA championship. Don, as far as Saquon goes, what you do with running backs now is get them, let them get beat up, and then you get the next one in. That's all they're good for. The game is slanted to the passing game. Running back, and Saquon didn't want to run between tackles anymore. He gets injured a lot. Yeah, he was good. He was very good. But
by the way, though, Richard, it's not always true. The very best ones. Christian McCaffrey is an absolute team-changing player.
But he gets hurt. He gets hurt.
Well, he hasn't for a while.
But here's you're absolutely right, Richard. But and Peter too. There's always exceptions to the rule. Saquon got the money that he got from Philadelphia because the Eagles feel like they're close, and they're willing to pay that extra. The reason why, listen, Carolina made a mistake giving McCaffrey the money. San Francisco is willing to pick it up and then extend him because they feel they're close to a championship, so they don't care. But when you're trying to build a team the way the Giants are, and there's only a certain amount of money you can allocate per position, the running back is going to be devalued. That's just the way that it is.
But in the game of football now, Don, Peter, the running game is not as important. You need passing. Quarterback is protected. The wide receivers are gold mines. Now, fellas, one last thing before I hang up. Baseball is off on Thursday. This is ridiculous. Now, being off on Thursday, squeeze the schedule, get that second round of baseball best of 7, have more games, more revenue for baseball, and let the better team win in a 7-game series instead of this lousy 5-game series where the best team doesn't always win.
Well, here's the issue. I think we've heard that as a drop at one
point.
Yeah, Richard, thank you for the phone call. That was a good one today. Is that not
Except for, can I just criticize one thing about his call?
Sure.
We lost Jerry West and we lost Jelly Bean Bryant. They both had one championship.
Listen, you got to break a few eggs. So
because I didn't understand. Well, who cares? I mean, God bless them both, but what? You lost your thought, didn't you?
Well, and really for zero reason. Right. No, not everybody played on Thursday. So you have some teams played on Thursday, be a handful of games. And what Major League Baseball is trying to do is give you a significant enough break to convince these guys to play in the All-Star game. And if you give them that extra day, it's going to help convince some guys, hey, you know what, I'll go to the All-Star game, get that extra day. Instead of playing on a Tuesday and then right away the next day you got to travel to get to wherever your team is playing on Thursday. Now you get even if you're playing the game on Tuesday, you get Wednesday off, you get Thursday off, you got a night game on Friday, you get a little bit of rest. Not everybody was playing on Thursday anyway. That one extra day was not going to have the season end that much earlier. So I'm not going to get crazy about it. Give them the extra day. So, and believe me, all this revenue, they're fine. Okay, one day on a Thursday when there would have been 5 games. Get a full slate on Friday. Start the second half in style. No issues whatsoever.
Let's take a couple more phone calls here, Don. Let's go to Chris in the Bronx. Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
3 quick points. All good. 3 quick points. First of all, Peter, when you started the Star Spangled Banner, I thought that was going to be ugly. You did a really good job.
He really did.
I was impressed.
Well, I actually did it because I also thought it was going to be really bad and that would be funny. And then for some reason, I actually didn't do horrible on the notes.
I think he surprised himself.
I did. I appreciate that.
That was strong. Very strong, Peter. Don, I love your rants, man. That was a great rant. But you kind of owe Shefty an apology. You were killing him for saying $12 million a year. It was closer to 16. I think it's like 12.5, 12.6, according to online anyway. I think that's all he got.
But the contract was worth. You might be right, and that's one of the reasons that I killed him. But not the ultimate reason I killed him was because the Giants had editorial control. But it's exactly how much more extra years, whatever. It's just not apples to apples, the comparison. He got way more in Philadelphia. Now, what it might actually be cap hit wise, but I don't. You might end up being right at the end of the day from that standpoint. So I will take that back if it's confirmed. But still, the overall point, Chris, they've had editorial control. So if the Giants released it, then there's no regrets on their part. Zero.
To that point, I actually I agree with you on. I agree with you on it being good for Daniel Jones. I think he could use a little fire, and if that fires him up, so be it. We just want Daniel.
I'm sure
Jones
that's their motivation. I'm sure that's their motivation. Thank
Absolutely.
you, man.
Hopefully it works. All right.
Thanks for the call, Chris. You're a good man. Appreciate you. Let's go to Moose in Jamaica. Hey, Moose.
Afternoon, Don and Peter. How are we?
Hey, Moose.
Good. I'll save my Yankees point because not enough time. But Don, I don't necessarily disagree, but I'm referring to the previous time I called regarding your projections for the Giants season. Now, I'm just providing another perspective because I don't want to get my hopes up. Chocolate soft serve in my pants come December.
Okay, but what was the point though? What was the original one?
It was concerning you thinking possibly best case scenario the Giants could be have a little more progress this season, maybe win 7, 8, maybe 9 games. Now, considering whatever Pro Football Focus or these websites or these rank us in the bottom 5 in terms of talent, yes, Daboll's a phenomenal coach, great staff, can motivate, but I see this more as a developmental season. Considering we lost half our secondary in the free agency, we have a solid linebacking core, good Tavon, I can't even say his name.
Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, and we have an offensive line to prove, new weapons. I'm not concerned about Daniel Jones. He proved with a decent offensive line play, he can function, he can perform. But as likely as it is on the best case scenario with a weaker schedule this season, we can win 7, maybe 8 games. There's a likelihood we can win 3 or 4 or 5, hopefully 3 or 4, so we can plan for a better quarterback and just cut ties with Daniel Jones. Now, once again, I don't disagree we can possibly win 7 or 8 games if we just outperform out of our minds. But the likelihood with the lack of talent and experience on the roster, I see this more as a developmental season to establish a foundation to be a powerhouse maybe 2 to 3 years from now with Joe Shane at the helm, making the picks, making the signings, making the decisions. Thanks for taking my call.
But how many years do you get? I mean,
how many chances?
I understand that you're still in the development stages and that maybe 2022 is an aberration. But you're still looking to get major production out of your quarterback to know that you can move forward with him. And you also made improvements to the defense. So I don't know if you can go out there, Peter, and just say you're part of your development, go out there, win 4 or 5 games so I can draft a quarterback. If this team is moving in the right direction, you're going to have to see some more wins. You're just going to have to.
Let's go to Ira in Staten Island wants to weigh in on the Devontae of it all. Hey, Ira.
Hey, Peter, Don, what's happening? So the Adams thing, there's just too much talk, and there's been interest for over a year. Excuse me. Don, like you said, I really, quite honestly, I don't really believe the Raiders are going to be any good. And I think even if they hold on to him, even though he's unhappy, I think the trade deadline makes more sense. But if they are going to dump him, they're going to have to do it now. But the way I look at it, it's 2 things. That screams that they know Mike Williams isn't going to be right. It also tells you they're going to dump Lazard, which is no big deal because, that was a bad signing. But when you look at the trade value, you look at the Diggs deal when he got traded, from the Vikings to the Bills. Mm-hmm. I believe it was something with like 4 picks. And I tell you the truth, it's going to be more than just a first-round pick. They're going to have to give up like next year's 1 and maybe a 4 or something the following year or maybe a player. But this is not going to come cheaply. But considering everything that they have invested in this year, if somehow they could get their hands on this guy, I think they'll get the deal done.
If the Raiders are awful, and if they're willing to take the cap hit that they're going to have to take, so I don't know if they're I don't think they're going to want to do him any favors. Right?
No, but I think the Jets are going to financially have to absorb some of this money. Because the Raiders are not going to take that cap hit. So I think, once again, I think the Jets are going to have to financially take a hit on this and give up draft picks. But considering they got all their eggs in one basket, as much as it's probably not the wisest move for the future, if you're all in for 1 year, bust or not, then I think it's a deal they're going to make.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I hope for your sake they do it, and obviously you're going to have two favorite teams during the course of the season, Ira. You're going to have the Jets and whoever's playing the Raiders, because you're going to want to see them get off to a really, really bad start.
Even though it's still not going to guarantee anything, of course. But
now here are the full details on the Barkley contract. Because of the signing bonus, fully $26 million guaranteed, but it does break down to about $12.5 million per season. So Schefter was right about, the Hurts handing off to a $12 million quarterback, although there was running back. There's still a lot of money that invested in besides those years. But that was the least of my issues with what Schefter said. But thank you for the correction.
Don, before we get to the point guard and ENN, I do have a message brought to you by our friends over at BetterHelp.
Do it.
This program is brought to you in part by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 or over.
Stay straight for the next 200 miles.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Ever been diagnosed with osteoarthritis or worried about the risks involved with knee surgery?
It hurt all the time, like the nerves were rubbing against each other.
I was at the point of either replace my knees because I'm tired of this pain.
Get the relief you need without surgery. We're Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, the premier leaders in non-surgical knee pain treatments. Instead of surgically replacing your knees, our state-of-the-art procedures replenish the depleted natural cushioning in your joints with an FDA-approved shock-absorbing gel, without surgery and without downtime.
After the first injection, I knew it was going to work.
We've successfully treated thousands of patients. Medicare and most private insurance cover this procedure.
Full motion, no pain, walking, everything just back normal like it used to be.
Locations in Garden City, Smithtown, and Wall, New Jersey. Call 1-800-834-5911 for a no-charge, no-obligation knee pain assessment, or go to arthritis-kneepain.com.
Big season. More reasons to say yes. Wow. Yes to the ultimate viewing experience. Aaron Judge crushes one. Yes to in-game live stats. And earn rewards and win prizes. Get all the Yankees action on the Yes app. Download now.
How's the ketchup? Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, just stressed out.
Oh, and the melody is sounding so much better. I can play it for you. Wait, where's your guitar?
I gave it to your cousin.
What? That guitar's like your favorite thing.
I don't need it anymore. Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
When is a sofa more than a sofa? When my designers get their hands on it. We're talking a drop-down table and accent shelving in my Playday. Pop-up sleepers and hidden storage in my Playscape. Thoughtful finishes like nail-head detailing on my playlist. And my playground with Bobapedic memory foam seats in customizable configurations. I'm not as flexible as my sectionals. When you can get 4 stylish sectionals designed for everyday living at my everyday low prices, there's only one thing to say. Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Ooh, it's prom day? With all these deals, I could be more than Megan Thee Stallion. I could be Megan the... It's prime day. Have to be a member if you want free shipping. Yeah, start clicking.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites in Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites in Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites in Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
Hi, I'm Sally. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a flight nurse on a helicopter that specializes in trauma. I've been doing flight nursing for 24 years. I had a fear that I wouldn't be able to keep up. I wanted all the boost I could get. I heard about Prevagen from a friend. I read the clinical study on it, and it had good reviews. I've been taking Prevagen now for 5 years, and it's really helped me stay sharp and present. It's really worked for me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
Popeyes has the best of both wings. Our juicy chicken is marinated to perfection with 2 distinct twists on all 6 flavors. Whether you prefer our spicy bone-in wings or our classic tender white meat boneless wings, we've got the best of both.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com. Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael Kay Show. Teoscar Hernandez is your home run derby champion. He outlasted Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals in an exciting final round. Hernandez hit 14 dingers in the final and became the first Dodgers player to ever win the Derby. He got a little help from his former teammate with the Blue Jays. That would be Vlad Guerrero Jr., who wore Hernandez's Blue Jays jersey last night and counseled him during Hernandez's timeout. Witt Jr. nearly tied things up with his last swing, but he hit it to one of the deepest parts of the park and it smacked off the wall, and that would solidify the win for Hernandez. Pete Alonso, Adolis Garcia, Gunnar Henderson, and Marcell Ozuna were all knocked out in the first round. Hernandez had to go to a swing-off to get by Alec Boehm in the semifinal, and then brought it home with 1 home run being the difference in the final, as we saw, over Witt Jr.
I mean, it was fun. No, I'll give it to you. It's fine, I suppose. Nothing to write home about, Dom, but I suppose you deserve it. I'll give it to you.
No, you don't have to be that way.
No. I mean, listen, I'm a guy who's competitive when it comes to it. Comes down to it.
It sounds like it.
I'm coming off a win last week. I felt good. I'm already down 2-0 to start this week. Only 3 days left, plus Michael's back Friday, so I can't win that day thanks to old AP over there. We have a big old ENN today. You know what they say, Don? There's no ENN like the ENN the day after the Home Run Derby and on day 2 of the Republican National Convention.
Really, especially day 2.
And by the way, think about it like this. You have no idea who from my life is going to talk at the RNC tonight.
Yeah, who else from your wedding?
I don't think we'll see Booker T show up at the RNC tonight. I'd be super surprised by that. Now, I'm very excited, by the way, also, Don, I should mention, for our Tiger Watch coming up during ENN. This is a fantastic bit of it. I love nothing more than a spiteful Tiger Woods. That's one of the things Michael always misses on Tiger. Michael thinks he doesn't relate to him because he's still judging Tiger for his worst moments. But I think one thing Michael should really appreciate about Tiger Woods is how vindictive a guy he can be. That's right up Michael's alley.
Right.
Michael's a man who has a laminated list, and Tiger showed maybe a little bit similar.
Now, I've been just looking at the Saquon contract. Technically, if you go by the cap hit,
okay,
Jalen Hurts is going to be handing off to a $4 million quarterback this year, or running back this year. His cap hit is $3.9 million in 2024, $13.6 million in 2025, $7.1 million in 2026. And if he is, which ends up being overall a $15.5 million cap hit in 2026. So they gave him that third year, which is going to be really odorous if he's still playing. But I guess if he's still playing and winning, they're willing to do that. And you know how you get out of stuff in the NFL.
I do think there's a world. I do want to say, I'm not trying to make Giants fans feel bad. I do think there's a world in which Saquon ends up producing for a while in Philadelphia. Well, he does have low mileage. I mean, they talk about his age, but he does have low mileage.
He's got low mileage because of the injuries. So the question is, will he be able to stay healthy, or is this going to be what he's going to be? So they can get out if they release him in 2026. It's a $7.1 million cap hit if he plays. It's over 15.5. So that's where I got that. That's why the 16 was kind of stuck in my head. But really, you're talking about a 30-year-old quarterback, a running back at that time. So I just think that the numbers show you that once you get north of 27, 28, you begin to lose it. But you're right, because of the injuries, he's got a lot more tread on those tires. Just hopefully he'd be able to stay healthy. Listen, I'm a Giant fan, but he's such a good kid. And it's hard to say I want him to do well because that means it's going to help a team that I despise. But when you get to know these people, I genuinely like him. We interviewed him at camp last year, and I think he's a good kid, and I want him to do well. I want this all to work out. Is there a world where it could work out for both teams? It's hard to root that way, considering they're in the same division. But I like Saquon.
We've interviewed a lot of people over the years when it comes to the Giants and the Jets. I would say we never met a young player on either team. The only person who's in the same category as seeming as lovely initially is Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, good too.
Garrett does seem like that good a kid, in my experience. We had him in last year, Don, when I believe you and Michael were on vacation. And before he started his weekly with Bart and Hahn, he came in studio for an hour. His dad called in, and we had a good hang with Garrett Wilson. But they are few and far between. The kids who come to the league, and by the time they get started, already seem to have a way about them.
But this business is cutthroat. See, that's the problem with John Mara, is he looks at it, loves the kid, and wants to make it work. But sometimes you got to be like Joe Shane and say, I don't think it works for our organization to be able to keep him. You can't govern with your heart in a cap sport. You just can't. You got to make difficult decisions.
That's the name of my 17th book.
Which what?
Can't govern with your heart.
And
it's a political book.
Right.
Coming up next, an ENN like you would not believe. So many things to talk about, including some interesting stuff from Jaylen Brown at Summer League, Tiger Woods, as we mentioned, and much more. But, Don, letting go of Saquon was painful, and you know a lot about pain, don't you?
Well,
whoever said patience is a virtue never sat in these K5 GT sports seats. The powerful new Kia K5 GT is here. Lease a new 2025 K5 LXS for $279 a month.
This is a keepsake frame. This is actually a photo from my wedding. I'm Adam Weiss, founder and CEO of Keepsake, the mobile app that makes it easy to have your photos printed, framed, and shipped to your doorstep. You just choose a photo that you love, you can preview it in over 100 frames, and in a couple of days, you're gonna receive your photo in a beautiful, handmade frame. So if you've got a special photo on your phone, install the free Keepsake app. We would love a chance to frame it for you.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too.
That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
But do you have to wedge it into everything?
This reminds me of my bike. Look how the brushstrokes follow the line on the gas tank. I had no idea this was a motorcycle exhibit.
The mood can strike at any time. And with Cialis Daily, you're always ready to perform. Medication is prescribed online and delivered discreetly to you. Get a 3-month trial pack at TryRexMD.com.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
What about Blue Chew? You like Blue Chew? Have you heard about it?
I have heard about it, yeah. I think guys who use Blue Chew are hot.
See, there you go, mate.
Get your first order free at BlueChew.com.
Trains. Trains that sense what isn't on the schedule. Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel to see hundreds of miles of tracks, clearing the way so you arrive exactly where you belong.
Icy hot. Ice works fast. Heat makes it last. Feel the power of contrast therapy, so you can rise from pain. Icy hot.
Stay straight for the next 200 miles.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
I have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years. When I have customers come in and ask for something for quite a while myself, and I know it works, and I love it when the customers come.
Well, it wasn't very nice that they went after my singing ability and didn't like call me or say, hey, you want to join, something like that.
We make fun of Dave without calling him. We do. Who are you, Stephen A?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into that.
They called out my guy, Willie Wilson, who sold
Peter! Come on, you can't call every time we talk about someone.
But you can try.
You could. And good evening.
Shot me a text. I could have contributed to the show.
Good evening to Don again.
Give me some opinion on what's happening in the big city.
I love old school radio, Don.
That was great. It was one of my... Now, this is troubling. Don and I heard this. You don't even know what happened, Peter. This is from you.
And it was also driven by Honda. You deserve a car that thrills you. And Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. No. I don't think that happened.
Well, this was better. You redeemed yourself.
And the rockets, red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
You hit the notes pretty well.
Well, you got to know where the line is, and you got to fly under that line. You don't want to fly too close to the sun, right, Don?
That's right.
No.
Otherwise, you end up with Don's performance.
That's my jam.
Don's very strange Simon and Garfunkel performance with a British accent. And that's trouble.
How about Jacob doing that?
And the rockets regular.
Oh, that's bad.
You got another octave higher there.
See, he made the mistake. See, Jacob, you fell into the trap.
That's an example of flying too close to the sun.
I'm so used to being a tenor, so hitting high notes is kind of hard.
You see why Jacob's a good sport? I didn't put that there. He put that there.
Well,
so he knows what's good for the
He gets good radio.
He knows
he's an outstanding board op.
That's right.
A terrible singer.
Oh, good evening to Peter and Don.
Was it Just Dance, Lady Gaga?
No, I know Lady Gaga.
I don't know. All right. One thing, and you guys didn't even do this on purpose. We talked so much about Ingrid Andress and her anthem. We didn't mention Teoscar Hernandez beat Bobby Wood Jr. in the home run derby.
Who? What?
Yes, well, no one cares. Teoscar Hernandez won the home run derby last night.
Good for him, man. Yes. That is so sweet.
First Dodger to ever do it, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, many have come close. 4, I believe.
I'm sure I'll get a plaque at Dodger Stadium.
Thrilling.
I'm telling you that they rioted in L.A. over the.
Is that true?
Yes.
Oh my! I don't know about that.
Ingrid,
right there with the Laker wins.
I'll tell you what. The national anthem saved the home run derby. It's the only thing that was going for the home run derby was the bad national anthem. When someone texted me last night, I got multiple texts that went, "Oh God, bad national anthem." I'm not kidding, and I turned on the RNC. I thought they meant the Republican. I thought it was like Lee Greenwood or something. I didn't know what they were talking about. And then I was like, oh, the home run. They do a national anthem there?
They did a national anthem.
Good for the home run derby. Look at you.
I don't know if they'll do it again, but they
listen. I am generally a home run derby enjoyer.
Yeah.
I'm just over the Pete Alonso part of it. And last night's lineup did not speak to me the way past years
Pete
have.
Struggled, and there were some cool moments, but even with I don't remember it back in when I was younger that the split screen was a thing, but because it's so quick now and you have to keep throwing the pitches as fast as possible because you only have 3 minutes
the split screen,
or 40 pitches.
The split screen's not fun.
It's hard to keep track of which ball you're going to, and it's not ESPN's fault. They do a fantastic job covering it because it's the only way you could see it, but it's not the way I remember it when Griffey was hitting home runs and you followed the ball and Berman's going back.
No, it's not
it's
that.
Not,
you get a lot of guys that maybe aren't household names.
Yeah.
How about this for an idea? Even though I kind of trashed ideas, just saying, hey, it is what it is. But do you think it would be more interesting if you had a scenario where you had Aaron Judge versus Shohei Ohtani, just those two going at it? Have a big $1 million purse to charity. Don't you think more people would be interested in that than just having, going 10 deep in some nice names, but not big names? I think that would get a lot of attention. Puts a lot of pressure on those two guys, and it doesn't have to be a big deal.
It's
it
like
could
a
be
match
like
of
the old
Jays.
home run derby.
Yeah, okay, let's keep playing around with it then, right?
Okay.
Might as well.
So if you're going to do that, it's going to be a limited amount of pitches, right? Because you're not going to risk like Ohtani taking 100 swings. So how about you also go full top golf? And you almost have like scoring areas all over the stadium.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to hit different places. Now we're having a conversation.
Well, and I think you could do it like the old school home run derby from the 50s where you get 10 outs. So any swing and a miss, any ball that doesn't go out of the ballpark is an out. And you could play like 3 rounds or whatever. And then what you can do, now Shohei might be a difficult because he doesn't speak English, but just say, with his interpreter.
I mean, he speaks English. It's just doesn't feel like speaking English.
But now,
I think he knows enough.
While Judge is up,
unless he's at FanDuel Sportsbook, in which case
you would have the commentary, but then Shohei sits next to the play-by-play guy and contributes, and they have a conversation like an interview, so you get to know these players. And as you said, you can have certain areas, you get extra points for distance, and just have the 2 biggest names in the sport go at it. Now, and I think they'd be more inclined to do it because there's a little bit more prestige in it because it's just those 2 and the attention that they would get. I think that would do more than to have those guys not participating. To have some of the biggest names in the sport not participating in the home run derby is ultimately more so than what the rules are and all that. That's what takes a lot of the fun out of it.
And Peter, your guy Gunnar Henderson.
Oh yeah.
We talked about how this is going to help, not tire the guys out. He said he was gassed at his timeout. He said his legs weren't feeling great after he had his timeout. And he had, I think, about 6 or 7 home runs before the timeout. He said he was glad he got the double digits because he said he didn't feel like it was just a lot of swings. So this is as fun as it is, and as much these guys put on a show. Griffey always used to put on a show. Alonso did great. Judge and Stanton, when they did it, were fantastic. It's not the easiest thing to do.
No.
And however they can make the format better, and I think they tried this year, and I don't know how great it worked. Not as many home runs as we've seen in the past.
I have to be honest, and what I'm going to say, it may ruffle some feathers.
Interesting.
I've spoken about as much about the home run derby today as I care to for the next 2 or 3 years. I may not come back to this till July next year
because of what happened.
Well, yeah, the anthem fiasco. You got the who cares about who actually won and competed. Right? I have something that's more troubling.
Okay, you tell me.
Don, I'm watching a video of Giuliani's at the convention.
Yeah, apparently he fell down. It's okay.
Have you seen the video?
Yes.
Here's what scares me about getting older, Don. When you get to the age where when you fall, it takes that many people to get you up. Well, just leave me down there. I don't know if I want to get back up again. Just let me lay on the floor. Don, there's like 5 people there to get you going. It's such a bummer. So when you get to that age, you can't risk falling because once you go down, it's like a tree. It took him 15 seconds to get him off the ground, Don. Just a few years ago, he was conducting Michael Kay's wedding.
But I don't think there's a lot of people there, so everybody's going to help him up. One person can do it.
It's hard. Getting dead, it depends how much he has to help you get him back up. Have you ever tried helping someone up who doesn't have a lot in the tank?
Yeah, but there were chairs there. They didn't have to. It went the way it did because there were so many people around him. But
it's actually.
I mean, listen, it's not the worst moment of his from the last decade, but it wasn't pretty.
A tremendous transition that you just gave us.
Tiger Watch. So, Tiger, how did you play today? Well, got off to kind of a slow start.
Do you feel like you're back to win at this level?
Yeah, I do, because I just did it.
You just love Tiger. Sniff him dead.
So Colin Montgomery had some thoughts
You
about
are
it.
a real psychopath, Don.
What happened now?
Every time I hear him say "sniff him dead," I just am reminded.
Dave and Peter really enjoyed that because we had the Tiger Watch earlier in the day on the what do we call it? Midday news.
The midday nightly news.
The midday
MNN.
News.
Yeah.
In the morning, and that was of course on our 10:50 mashup show with Peter and Dave, which Don, you are going to be a part of next week with Dave.
That's right.
10 o'clock, 10:50, and the app only. We will not be podcasting these. You can only hear them 10 to 12 on Tuesdays, and we're going to do them throughout the summer.
So it's all part of our preset. Reset the preset.
It's going to be a lot of fun. But Colin Montgomery last week said, I don't even know why Tiger's at the Open. The Open, Don, your favorite, the Open Championship, and that he should retire. Well, Tiger had some thoughts on what Montgomery said about that.
Well, as a past champion, I'm exempt till I'm 60. Colin's not. He's not a past champion, so he's not exempt. So he doesn't get the opportunity to make that decision. I do.
I mean, you've earned that. You've deserved it.
So when I get to maybe at his age, I can still make that decision when he doesn't.
I love Tiger already, as you guys know. But Don, I've never loved the man more.
It's a great response. Now, Greeny talked about it earlier today, and he really attacked Colin in the sense that why can't we have decorum anymore? Why can't he just keep it to himself? Like, why do you have to have that opinion?
But by the way, you should agree with Colin. You have the same take. You said to me last week, what does Tiger do? Or 2 weeks ago, what's Tiger doing? You think he's going to retire any minute. I'm the one who's telling you he's never going to leave.
But I never
He's
said
using
he
that
should.
exemption until he's 60.
He's not going on the Golf Channel and saying it and telling
I'm not going on the Golf Channel.
Well, Don's not Colin Montgomery, sure.
I didn't say he should. I might have the opinion that I think he's cooked. I might have the opinion to think he's never going to win again because I'm a talk show host and I'm supposed to have opinion. I'm not one of his colleagues who isn't paid to have an opinion to just express it out of nowhere.
And especially, it's you have to know how bitter it's going to sound because all due respect to Colin Montgomery, who had a great career, he's not in the ilk.
Now, was he coming from a place of thinking he's doing Tiger a favor? As if to say, listen, man, you're embarrassing yourself. This is not going to be good for your legacy. Give it up, man. Or does he not like him?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, probably. Now, the unfair part is we don't have the context of what the question was originally for Colin Montgomery.
Do you have some of Montgomery's quotes if you'd like to hear them?
Yeah, I would. I'd like to hear what it sounded like.
I hope people remember Tiger as Tiger was, kind of like what Don was referring to.
Yeah.
The passion and the charismatic aura around him. There's none of that now. At Pinehurst, he did not seem to enjoy a single shot, and you think, what the hell is he doing? He's coming to, I guess, Troon, I guess is where this is being played, and he won't enjoy it there either. So it's kind of like what you said, Don, but still...
listen,
if he doesn't want to retire,
if you want, I think there is something from a fan standpoint. Again, I'm not a golf fan, but if I applied it to an aging quarterback, or like when Jamie Moyer was pitching in Major League Baseball at 47 years old, or Chris Chelios was playing at like 48, or Jaromir Jagr, I rooted for those guys. I knew that they weren't what they were, and sometimes it was really tough to see them play. But I wanted them to continue to play because they wanted to play. I think there's something about a guy that wants to continue to go out there and do it. So who am I as one of his colleagues to sit there and go, he should give it up? But if you are somebody that's rooting for the legacy and to say, dude, this is not, if you're going to be this for the next 5 years, do you want people to remember you as a shell of yourself, or do you want to walk away with some dignity? I can understand that.
Do you think it hurts his legacy, Don? What he's doing right now?
I think if he continues at the pace that he's going, and I can't imagine it's going to get any better as he gets older, where he's not making the cut or finishing 158th, then it just kind of becomes a little embarrassing because he can't hide, right? They're always going to tell you where Tiger is. Like, if Sergio Garcia has a bad round, it's
don't
not
know.
going to, and they're not going to give the top 5 and then mention, oh, by the way, Sergio Garcia is 158. They're just not going to mention him. He's going to be ignored. Tiger's never going to be ignored. So if this is what it's going to be every major, him not making the cut, him playing on Saturday and Sunday completely out of contention, and he does that for the next 3-4 years, you don't think there will be a generation of fans that be like, what are you doing? That maybe don't remember him in 1997, 98, 99 being dominant, where that ends up becoming part of your legacy as a guy that hung on way too long. I mean, that's possible.
It just depends what he does. If it's simply Tiger playing in majors, I think it'll be a little bit more about the pomp and circumstance of him playing,
right?
More so that there's an expectation that he's going to compete.
But if he's
I don't know, Don, that it would actually cut into his legacy.
Do you want the greatest golfer of all time to be a sideshow? Because that's what you're saying it's going to be. He's going to get attention. Oh, Tiger of the Masters, can he win? And then, not making the cut and finishing way out of the money every single major. At what point does it just kind of become a joke?
Well, we have it right here on ESPN Bet, Don. I'll ask you, what is Tiger's odds to make the cut at the Open?
I'm sure that it's plus money.
Okay.
So it's probably plus 150.
Peter, what are your thoughts?
To win the Open Championship?
No. To make the cut.
To make the cut at the Open Championship?
Correct.
I'm going to say it's worse, actually, given sort of what that tournament plays like. I'll say it's plus 300.
In the middle, plus 200 to make the cut, minus 300 to miss. They again believe that Tiger will not make the cut.
So think about that. We went from Tiger against the field
to win the whole thing.
Now that's Scotty Scheffler.
The whole thing.
Now it's Scotty Scheffler, correct?
To him being plus money to make the cut, to not make the cut, that you don't think at some point, Peter, that just becomes kind of painful. Like Greeny said today, he loves watching Tiger Woods play. Are you telling me he loves watching this Tiger Woods play?
That's a good question.
Who's 6 over, out of contention?
No.
I mean, you're telling me that he's going to run to the TV to watch this Tiger play. He might love Tiger, love the fact that he's still competing, but now you're not competing, because I'm sorry, if you're not making the cut, you're not competing. And is he in love with watching him play? Well, what's so special about this? He's not hitting eagles. He's not hitting 100-foot,
approaches. Yeah, no, listen,
that's what I'm saying.
I hear you, but we still have a ways to go, in my opinion. It would be a lot of bad play for long. And again, I've said this many times, and I know Don disagrees, but I also feel like I'm a little more dialed in, obviously, as someone who is a fan of him and watches golf, not week to week, but certainly on and off throughout the summers.
Sure.
That Masters still feels recent enough that I'm like...
Well, that was special.
Listen, I'm the kind of guy, I'm still living off my Maryland championship in 2002. So Tiger randomly winning the Masters out of nowhere in 2019. As long as I see him get competitive at a tournament the next couple of years, I'm not ready to start having conversations about I don't want to see him anymore.
Well, listen, you're entitled to your opinion. You still want to see him, but because you are one of those people that's a fan, do you still want to see him, or does it become cringeworthy to see him? And now you throw out 2019, the pandemic's kind of done this to us. Feels like it was just yesterday.
It really does.
2019 is 5 years ago.
It's a long time.
I know. It's a quick 5 years.
And it's getting worse. It's not getting any better.
Did they play it in 2020?
I don't remember.
Play what, the Open or the
2020 Masters?
No, the Masters is in April.
It was canceled, right?
I think it was moved. If I remember, it was moved to I think the fall. So they did do it in 2020.
It just wasn't
not in April.
That's right.
They couldn't have possibly done it in April.
They moved it to the fall.
That's and it was all messed up. It was terrible.
It was November.
Yeah, so there was all those plants that they love so much. What is that? The azaleas.
The azaleas.
No, the azaleas were
right. That probably took like a whole full rating.
And by the way, but just to add to the conversation though, in that November 2020, which was almost in 2021,
right?
Tiger finished tied for 10th at 4 under.
That's not bad.
Like, we're 4 years removed then from him being competitive at the Masters.
But we are not trending in that direction.
But I know
again,
but Don, it's not the same as a quarterback. Like, he could have a bounce back year. It's not his body is such that he could have a bounce back year or two.
But we're not trending. It's getting worse instead of better.
I
need like when they give the Yes showed it, like whatever it's been over the last however many majors. We're not seeing it trending towards what you're saying. There hasn't even been that aberration of, oh, look, he was, in contention here. No, it's all been cut or not in contention. Every one of them for the last 12. That's significant. Again, I'm not being a hater. I think I'm throwing a dose of reality because I'm kind of neutral. I'd love to see him continue to defy odds. Like I said, I like that. I'm not interested in golf, but how cool would it be to go at 50 him to do it? That's a big deal. Greeny was talking about that Masters win. He thinks it might have been the greatest moment in the history of golf. Like, so why wouldn't you root for something like that to happen? But I just think it's becoming more and more a pipe dream, and the reality, I think, could be really difficult to watch. You won't admit it because you don't want to be wrong.
No, it could be, but I just think we're ways away from it.
I think you're an honest enough person. You will tell me, and they're just showing it right now.
Yeah, missed cut, 60th, withdrawn.
So it's not a great list of events since 2022.
Yes. No. So since 2022, his best performance was finishing 47th.
I love the 22 Masters.
And it's all miscut or withdrew. So you think that's going to get better as you get older? He's already defying the odds at the age to just when he makes the cut. Well, how old was Nicholson when he won in '86? Like 46 years old?
Yes.
And how old's Tiger now?
Past that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like
I hear you.
I hear you. You're hoping for a miracle.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Tiger had a lot to say today. He also talked about why he turned down the Ryder Cup captaincy next year.
Oh, please. The decision was very difficult for me to make. My time has been so loaded with the tour and everything we're trying to accomplish. I'm on so many different subcommittees that it just takes so much time in the day, and I'm always on calls. And I told Seth that I just didn't feel like I could do the job properly. I couldn't devote the time. I barely had enough time to do what I'm doing right now. And add in the TGL starts next year as well as the Ryder Cup. And you add all that together, and then with our negotiations with the PIF, all that concurrently going on at exactly the same time, there's only so many hours in a day. And I just didn't feel like I would be doing the captaincy or the players and Team USA justice if I was the captain with everything that I have to do.
And in part, there's another example. The one thing you got to dig about Tiger is that he respects the game. So do you think he'll get to a point where he feels like, am I respecting the game? Because he sees the attention that he gets. Is that good for the sport?
That's why he doesn't want to use the cart.
Right.
Arguably. We don't know if he'd play better.
And you gotta respect how much he actually.
So what did you tell Rory McIlroy after the U.S. Open debacle?
Just basically here, as you know, I'm your friend, and I know this is a difficult moment. We've all been there as champions. We all lose. Unfortunately, it just happened, and the raw emotion of it, it's still there, and it's going to be there for I'm sure, some time, and the faster he's able to get back on the horse and get back into contention like he did last week, the better it is for him.
Oh, that was really touching, very heartfelt. Rory, how did you respond to Tiger?
So, full disclosure, I changed my number 2 days after the U.S. Open, so I didn't get it until he told me about it today. So I was like, oh, thanks very much. So I blanked Tiger Woods, which was probably not a great thing, but Tiger's been nothing but incredible to me over the course of my career, in the good moments and in the bad. You know, he sent me an incredible message after St. Andrews in 2022. I met Tiger when I was 15 years old, and I've built up a great relationship with him, his whole family. You know, he really enjoys spending time with my mum and dad as well. So yeah, it means a lot.
See, Tiger Woods, great guy.
He changed his number, and Tiger walked up to him and goes, I gave you this beautiful message, and I'm sorry, I never got it.
A little awkward. I love it.
But how do you change your number and not let Tiger know?
You'd think that would be high on the list, but I mean, they've known each other for a long time, so he's not like, oh my God, I got to text Tiger. He's thinking, why
did he change his number? Just a different phone, or was he like getting abused for what happened and had to change it?
Who knows, man? Remember, he had marital issues. A lot of reasons people change phone numbers, guys.
I just thought that was just kind of funny how that all kind of panned out. You mentioned it, Peter. Jaylen Brown was asked about his relationship with Derek White because, of course, with Kawhi Leonard now no longer on Team USA, everybody thought Jaylen Brown was the obvious choice to replace him, but they went with his teammate Derek White. But he wanted to squash the idea that him and Derek White have a problem.
Absolutely. I called Derek right away just to make sure there's no confusion, like my love for you and all of that. You know what I mean? So, like, he knew that, and he did. And but, you don't always got to make anything public, but me and D. White are good.
Now, something else he said, but it was a little too loud in the cut, was he does believe that Nike, his relationship with Nike or lack of relationship with Nike, his comments about Nike, played a part in him not being on the team.
I think that's
But he didn't
obvious.
want to get into it right now.
No, but
that's
that's obvious.
So,
Did you guys also see the other thing moving around with Jaylen Brown today? That while he was sitting at Summer League.
Oh, yes, I did see this.
Talking to his girlfriend, watching Bronny play. At one point, because their cameras were on him the whole time, and at one point, Jaylen Brown looks over to his girlfriend, and you can clearly see him saying, you can read his lips saying, "I don't think Bronny's a pro." And, of course, someone posted that as people...
I'll never make fun of a pitching coach ever again for going like this.
Yeah, exactly. It's just,
now, was Angel Reese sitting next to them?
Yes.
She is so smart. Because there's a whole minute-long thing where anything she said, she's just drinking her drink, minding her own business.
She actually does sort of react in some way, but it's not clear how she's...
But she's not going, oh, yeah, I agree. She's very, very smart.
So then Jaylen Brown then I guess felt obligated to repost the video since it was so out there, the thousands of retweets. He reposted it again and said something really nice. So impressed with Bronny. The idea of getting to play with your dad's amazing. I can't wait to see him improve as a player. Like, he cleans it up. But there was, and that makes me, by the way, that just makes me hate people, man. You already have people like athletes who are already so judgmental and don't trust the media. And then you have to film a guy while he's just watching a game till you catch him saying something.
Don, I'll answer, Don. I'll answer.
Nice back pedal. Hamstrings must be pretty strong after that.
That's CNN, brought to you by Security Dodge.
Hell of a job by you.
Shop 24/7 securitydodge.com during the week.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, a little Summer League basketball between the Knicks and Nets. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked